That sounds good.
Hi. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we have something pretty special. We're going to be checking out the Dark Revelations role-playing game with the creators, Chris C., Jason H., and Joe A. Let me see. It is... well, they'll be able to describe it in much better detail than I can, but just to give a quick idea, it's a post-apocalyptic game set in using the D20 rules with all sorts of stuff thrown in. So it's it definitely has its own feel separate from any other Roll20 system. Has tons of options, and really looking forward to jumping into this. So without further ado, let me pass it over to Chris, and we'll get started. Today we're just going to do, probably just going to do character creation. We may get into a little bit of session, but it's primarily just creation and exploring the system.
Yeah, thanks. Good, thanks, Brad. Hello, my name is Chris C. My co-writer is Jason H. And my good friend is Joe A. will be joining us today, as well as John M. Ultimately, Dark Revelations, the role-playing game, also known as the Hodgepocalypse, takes North America and the D20 system and makes a diverse world filled with magical rites, modern technology, and bizarre cultures. Some of the changes from standard D20 include templates as a concept to modify your character, 8 playable races, we're reimagining many classic ones and multiple new ones. We feature racial talents as a means to create characters with exotic and strange abilities. A class path system to allow archetypes with significant customization through the highly flexible talent feat system. A reorganized and revised feat and talent system, as well as feats and skills. The big one for me has been skill montages, which is a mechanism to assist with giving experience in team building situations here. We have revised weapons rules, a systematic trap creation system, and new innovative driding rules. Otherwise, basically it's a fantastic but familiar world of necromantic armies, Texan witches, newsy fairies, and Newfoundland spellcasters. It is a post-apocalyptic world of North America that takes place way in the future. Like, the apocalypse happened, but things kind of got better. And this is the after effects of the different cultures and civilizations within the North American continent. I guess that's basically covers the basis of it. For this game specifically, we'll be building characters for a Dark Revelations adventure known as the Betrothal of Runes, where the characters will be starting at first level with a D-Rev array of standard attributes, which are 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 10. Hit points are maximum hit dice plus con bonus plus kicker. As Dark Revelations characters start with a plus 10 hit point kicker to basically smooth out the stay 9. Your starting funds will be 200 G-bills, which is our currency within the game. Human or human-like PCs preferable will make allowances as needed. And basically, no living dead because it causes 2 complications, even though it's available in our game. And ultimately, you guys are heroes. And you're working for a prominent family in the Potomac... I can never pronounce it properly. Democratic Principality of the Potomac, or DPP for short, which is essentially a prominent human kingdom that's based loosely on the east coast of United States in the future. And the family you'll be working for is known as the Rupertsons. So basically it'll be about 3 to 4 characters, and we'll see how it goes, ultimately. I believe Brad was interested in playing a ritualist, and John was interested in playing a channeler. So we'll be playing heavily with the magical rules for showing the demonstration of the build. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I guess my first question is, who wants to go first?
Sure. I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Okay. So, do I start with, since I already know what class I want to go with, should I pick a race, or where is there like some central concept thing work that we should do first?
Well, ultimately, what I would probably recommend is once you know what you want to play, determine ability scores, pick your race, pick your class, pick your path, Then we'll fill it with your skills, your talents, your feats. We'll buy equipment, and we'll do any fishing details for the character as question. It's actually not that much different as far as actual building is concerned than normal D20 type games here. It's kind of a weird, basically it's a balancing act between the two to get everything together. So if you have a particular race that you have in mind, there are a lot of races in our game. So they range from the monstrous to the relatively benign. And it'll be interesting to see which ones grab you as a whole. If you want a full list of the races that are currently available in it, I will post it in the chat just to make things a little bit easier here. Because some of them range from the silly to the serious, depending on what we're trying to do here.
Okay.
But a long time ago, I created a current race, classes, and past list just to make it easier for communication purposes. So, one moment. There we go. Some of these races you're very familiar with. Some of these races are unusual. Probably your best bet is to stay within the first two books just to make your life a little bit easier to begin with. But there is a wide range of coverage of different concepts. Which class and or path were you interested in trying, and if you want any questions here to be answered?
Okay. So actually, let me take a look real quick. Okay, cool. Well, is there a race that is particularly good or particularly flavorful with ritualists, or is there not really a one-to-one correlation?
Well, some races do emphasize certain magical things when it comes down to more than others. Like, if you want to go for personality, I could name at least 3 or 4 other races that seem to be personality heavy when it comes down to it here. So, some of the examples include Phelan, well, I'm not going to do Kami-Davers this time around. Gnome, halflings. You got your basic human race, of course. It's based on the conceptual model there. Medusas might be good if you're playing a more intellectual type, because essentially Medusas in Dark Revelations are basically a relatively peaceful, scholarly race. Basically, the term I use is scholarly reptilian people with snakes on head. And they do get a bonus when it comes to the intelligence stats, so maybe that might be something you might be interested in trying. You want to play something a little more on the unusual side.
Okay.
However, human is perfectly fine as an option. In fact, one of the things you can do is if you want to play a human, but you want to modify him somewhat, that's where the template system comes in. Like, there's 2 ones from the books that you might get a kick out of. One is the Desecrator template, which may make you somewhat vaguely demonic.
Oh, yes.
Based on our different races of the West Coast, where the Desecrators primarily habitate. The other is the Fae template, which is basically, you're essentially a changeling from the traditional Celtic lore and so forth.
Okay.
Just some ideas from there. If I had to pick races, like, the problem is when you pick a ritualist, the spellcasting stat may change based on what you're trying to do, because your key spellcasting stat will be determined by your path, as well as which talents are available to your character. In the Book of Magic, there are 3 basic ritualist paths. The Artillery Mage, which is essentially a character who is commonly designed to use long-range attacks, using common, basic spellcasting, as well as to mix the ability to drive with spellcasting.
What was
the Magister. Oh, the ability to drive with spellcasting. You might want to stay away from the latter part for the first round, as nobody can really afford a vehicle at first level.
Oh, okay.
Beyond a skateboard here. Whereas the rest of the class, you can actually make, you can make it so it actually makes things go boom pretty easily with the Artillery Mage. The Magister is probably the closest thing to a standard wizard. Basically, they manipulate the magic at the metaphysical level. They're also known for being able to generate hollows, H-A-L-O, which are mystical force constructs, which can be used for a wide range of tasks.
Okay.
The third one is the Rainmaker, which is essentially a weather mage for all intents and purposes. You have the ability to manipulate the weather as you see fit.
Okay. So I'm probably leaning towards Magister.
Okay.
But going back to race, there's a couple that seem particularly interesting. I don't know if they're a good fit for Magister, but I'd love to talk about them for a bit, just because I think I think other people will be curious about them, and I am. First off, is Beaver Folk. That just sounds amusing.
Oh, definitely. That was actually created for our Canada Day special. They are a race of paramilitary rodents for all intents and purposes here.
Okay.
They're mildly xenophobic, but obviously your character doesn't have to be. But they are set up in bunkers across Western Canada. Now,
awesome.
They are relatively tough. They actually probably dress on the gear here. And you could either play them incredibly silly or you can play them incredibly straight. That's up to you guys. But they are a fun race and concept here. Your bonus would be a +2 to Constitution, which might be useful for its own right when it comes to the actual stats. Plus, you'd be able to hold your breath from water and so forth.
Okay.
So,
and then another one that caught my eye was Dragon. Is that an actual dragon?
Yes, that is in the Book of Arrogance, and we try to take a slightly different look on dragons. We're not talking like D&D, I am a gold dragon that's 80 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, if you take the right racial talents, that you can get up to like kind of like 10 feet long kind of thing.
Okay.
But it is actually not a dragon folk, like, like not like dragonkin. You are a dragon.
Very cool. So for this, I probably won't do that because you wanted players to be more humanoid. But I thought I should point out that that was amongst the options. So the froggies they're like frog humanoids, and they're libertarians.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We basically took a concept when we were playing with it there, and we tried to build a libertarian culture based in Florida area, where we essentially have these huge clans of essentially frogmen. And as a result, there are 3 different colors based on what stat you're trying to increase, because they kind of set up in suburban type communities. But instead of having your typical backyard with the pools, they're basically spawning grounds.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the harvester looked interesting also.
Okay, the harvesting is best described as what happens when you cross a mad scientist with a Hutterite colony, or if you prefer, the Amishes. They are a highly intelligent plant race that basically fulfills the role of, well, they're really smart, and they basically manipulate plant material in kind of bioengineering projects across primarily Western Canada, but also into a good chunk of the Western states as well.
Okay.
They basically create various constructs. They also are known for setting up diplomatic organizations where they basically duplicate human life using pod technology. So yes, they create pod people.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or any other races you want me to highlight? Because I got a few I wouldn't mind showing off as well.
Sure. Okay. Let me ask about one more, and then I'd love to hear which ones that you wanted to go over as well. The Malarcoids.
Okay, the Malarcoids have a bit of a story behind them. A few months ago, Jay and I were at a comedy festival, or a comedy taping in CBC Canada, where they presented a race of aliens coming down to Earth that was essentially a suburbanite family. We took our own spin on the material because we want to have straight communication here. But the Malarcoids are essentially suburbanite mutants that landed on Earth before the Revelation sometime in the early 21st century. They basically consist of having, I guess the best way to describe them would be they're thin gaunt race with somewhat humanoid shape. They have foot pods and tentacle-like arms that are very prehensile. Their face has 3 eyes that are brightly colored that don't blink in the human sense, but when they do, They have nictitating membranes protected against distant objects. They have a slit of a nose and a small mouth loaded with sharp teeth. And they basically have ear hoodies that clamp down, and most of their body points to being evolving during a harsh desert climate. While they are generally curious, friendly, and quite trusting once you get to know someone, they basically start getting a bit of a controlling freak in later part in their civilizations here. And the largest known population in the area is actually Regina, Saskatchewan. However, they often make a conscious effort to visit what is known as the St. Paul, Alberta satellite pad, where the person who takes care of the site is actually always pleased to see it because he's looking for alien life. His name is Harold. So, yeah, it's a pretty fun little race here. It was made as a lark. It's essentially a mutant race that thinks they're aliens.
Interesting. Okay, so what races did you want to? What other races did you want to talk about?
Oh, certainly. I would have to say the one that basically set up a good chunk of the path, which took our game from a relatively serious game to probably a lot more sillier than I intended originally. I'd have to bring up the Phelan. The Phelan are basically, they look like small fairies for all intents and purposes here, but they usually develop a fascination that borders on obsession. And because they're involved in a post-apocalyptic culture where they've actually had they often find vast hoards of pre-revolution collectibles, they often become obsessed with clothes, comic books, flowers, music, movies, radio talk shows, technology, television, and always their height. Like, one of the ones that we tested out a while back his name was Gut Wrench, who is based on the mechanic from Taxi, and decided to basically base his entire life behind it in order to do so here. Another one was Bruce, who basically was a Phelan that took up bodybuilding because he started trying to imitate great 80s action heroes. And started wearing black leather, black sunglasses, started carrying the biggest gun he could find.
A Phelan character that I'm hoping to make, I haven't quite worked out all the rules yet, is somebody who combines the martial arts abilities in the game with the teleportation abilities in the game. Which is something that's sort of Phelan are uniquely suited to do.
Yeah. Like, some of the Fey races, if they can take racial talents instead of class talents in order to represent their metaphysical abilities, the Fey racial talent tree, among other things, allows you to have something called a Fey port, where you can teleport short distances in order to respond to an action. This sets up the whole agony of choice, whether you want to work on your class abilities or your racial abilities, because you only get so many talents or feats to work with. And ultimately, that agony of choice allows you to provide different characters. Like, you're never going to be able to do everything, but you should be able to do something that's really kind of awesome. And the trick is making sure that we're able to do so based on the system. At least that's the hope here. And unfortunately, I'm going to bring up a race that, even though I'm not allowing it, I've actually been really impressed by, because I think it's one of the more unique races that are things. I'm going to bring up the Kamidaver. It is essentially, if I just sum it up in 3 words, it's undead stuntman. Or a person, actually. So if you weren't into there. Okay. One of the major historical points of my world is the Necromantic Wars. Basically, a series of mounds that are located in the Midwest United States and southern Canada essentially raised a group of super powerful necromantic entities known as the Fallen Lords, where they basically raised huge armies and everybody else had to put them down. It was not pretty, it was ugly, and so forth. But one of the races that basically turned tables and basically took off on their own because they were given the right of free will was the Kamidavers. They basically left the area and start wandering the earth for all sorts of crazy reasons. Often, like, they set up biker gangs and so forth because they're basically riding around trying to get their kicks. Ultimately, what their ultimate goals are, depending on what they want, in order to get what they need. And if you're playing a good character, you can possibly play a crazy go-getter, or you can play the villain of the team, depending on what sort of alignments you're going for the character. One of the key points is they're essentially free agents by nature. They long for adventure and excitement, and potential employers usually don't like undead, and they will shoot Kamidavers on site when showing job success, but to the Kamidavers, that's part of the fun. So it gives you a really interesting mindset if you have the right group to play it in. Okay?
Yeah, they sound like a blast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, dude, the whole point is, if you're not going to have fun playing your character, what's the point?
Yeah, totally.
And And the only other one I might bring up is from the Book of Arrogance, which is the Minotaurs. And for this, my friend, I think Jay should talk about it since this is his baby.
It's rock and roll cows. what we really went on, and unfortunately, neither of us are really good artists. If we think like an Iron Maiden album from the classic era, where you have the painting on front of the LP, what we want is a Minotaur on the front, hand over head, guitar in the air. This is what we want. Dressed in leather, tattoos everywhere.
Nice.
This is the concept, and we went with the idea that we would go completely off the rails, kind of like we did with the dragons, and make them kind of psychic focused. Because that's what we did for our version of the bard, the rocker. They are a psychic path rather than a magical path.
That makes sense.
So that was kind of our idea for those.
So are these available in this campaign?
Oh, absolutely.
Chris? Yeah, sure. The DPP is a pretty closed-off area. However, New Beckford is kind of like the spawn of change in this very conservative part of the world. So I'm playing a large-size Verkel. And my character role, you'll find out as we play. So if Chris wants to allow a rocker or a Minotaur, that is up to him.
I don't have a single problem with that. If anything, it'd be fun to test the rules to see if the entertainment value holds up. The only thing is, you were probably hired. You have to figure out why you were hired by the family as one of your things here.
Okay.
Which, basically, it's a rich, eccentric family, which is why you're able to get away with a lot more of the more unusual choices here. Because they have this family has a tendency to collect people and put them in their employment from a wide range of backgrounds and talents, which is why you might be able to get away with a lot more than you would normally in the DPP. And for the Minotaurs, it's relatively easy depending on how you want to play them. Like, if you want to play them straight psychic, that's fine, or you can just play them somebody who isn't psychic if you want to be more of a heavy hitter of some sort. Because their ability score adjustment is +2 strength, which, because they're hulking. But they also have a history that's just insane. Long story short, they came from the future.
Excellent.
They basically got dropped back into the past, and they've fought their way out of essentially hell to get here. And as a result, they kind of, they're very clannish, but they're not judgmental.
Okay.
And we even have rocker and Minotaur terminology in the Book of Arrogance on page 13. Some of which include audience to either use diplomacy or ask someone to join the band. An axe refers to an axe or guitar. Bad promo, getting a bad reputation, doing something negative, or something worse than a scalper. And so forth. So,
Okay.
long story short, you can have a blast with this character if that's what you want to try.
I am definitely thinking about it. It sounds like a fun.
Yeah.
You kind of had me at like rocking cows or punk rock cows.
Exactly. Like I said, we'll play anyway, but we won't play sane, so it's okay. And the way I see it, if you're not having fun, what's the point? So, now that you have your options here, I guess, how do you want to proceed?
Okay. So I'm sort of leaning towards Harvester. Although the Phelan also sound like a lot of fun.
No, I don't have a problem either way here.
So
Basically,
Brad, are you thinking about playing a psychic then, perhaps,
Oh.
or still going with the Magister and just having a couple psychic powers on the path on the side?
Oh. I think I want to stick with Magister.
I don't have a single problem with you playing a Harvester Magister. That actually sounds perfect.
Okay.
In fact, where we start actually makes a lot of sense, which will be explained once we get the character set up here. Do you want me to read out the various Harvester features in order to see if we can set it up here?
Absolutely.
Okay. The Harvester features is your plant, okay? Your template on your character is the plant kin. Now, you cannot take the Fey-like, Living Dead, or Desecrator talents, but you're a plant. I don't think it really matters.
Okay.
Now, what I'd recommend usually when spellcasters, you generally do not want to take your racial talents because you're going to be using. You don't start off with less racial talents if you play a spellcaster than when you don't. But if you want them, which is your option, is racial talent trees include natural armor, stout, and venom. And you also have access to the Plantkin racial tree. Your ability score adjustments is you get a +2 intelligence, so it definitely plays to your strengths if you play a Magister with an intelligence spellcasting ability. Now, you have the language of synth, which is the plant language, and you get 2 of choice because you are that smart. I would recommend one be either English or trade tongue just to make things easier. So we're not playing the language game here.
I will do that.
Okay. Your vision is low light vision. You have a baseline speed of 30 feet. Your size is medium. And you have a damage reduction of 1/explosions. Okay.
Okay.
And you can start off with a Psychic Adapt feat on top of the character's abilities here in order to see what you can do as far as your psychic powers are concerned. Looks like you start with Emphatic Detection, which is part of the Empathy Cold set, Cold Reading, and Telecom, which means you often communicate via telepathy, because plants are commonly telepathic in our game, which might be kind of unusual. Basically, for the overall plant traits, you can either be healed nor harmed by corruptive or luminescent energy, which is basically the magical stuff. You do need to eat, breathe, drink, and sleep. However, you can also feed via photosynthesis. Okay. Treat injury adjust will be at a +5 DC because you're an unusual physiology, unless the guy makes a knowledge nature check equal to DC you're aiming for first. Now, if you're exposed to sunlight for at least 8 hours, you basically get your food back. But in order to actually eat, you're going to need special food. But I'm not going to worry too much about it here because you're mostly going to be staying inside of town. And unless you go on a crazy binge out in the middle of nowhere, you're going to have your food supplies.
Okay.
However, if you do go into the ruins, you will need to keep an eye on your food and your provisions and all that. Okay?
That's cool.
So that's the Harvester. Yeah. Now, do you want the Minotaur explanation as well, or the Phelan, or what? Any of the other ones? Or do you just want to go with the human?
Well, let's...
Oh, who are you talking to?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Okay.
Well, if there's more details on the Phelan, let's go into them as well, and
no problem.
They do sound quite interesting, and so are they also inherently psychic, or no, they're not.
They're actually
right? Okay.
well, they're basically from the Book of Magic. They're actually Fae.
Okay.
Their creature type is Fae. They have the template of Fae-like. They have racial talent tree access to the Fae, the Flight, the Dream Cantrip, the Savvy, the Shrinking, and Vision talent trees. So yes, your Phelan can fly if you take the right talents.
Mm.
Your ability score adjustment is +2 Charisma. However, you're only small. You have +1 attack, and basically you're the same. +1 to attack and AC, -1 CMB, CMD, +4 stealth skill, carry capacity 3/4, and your weapons must be sized for a small creature. However, if you're still interested in playing the Channeler, this would actually make a good choice for playing a Sentinel, which is essentially a warrior mage for all intents and purposes. Your only speed is only 20 feet, but you get low light vision, you get +2 racial knowledge to knowledge, anthropology, history, and technology checks, and you start off with the Nerves of Steel feat because Phalans have many faults, but they're fearless.
Ah.
Which is in no way a fault and can't lead you into trouble at all.
Okay. Because they start off with the following racial talents, Fey Mind and Wings Budding. Fey Mind means they get +1 racial bonus to saving throws versus spells, spell-like powers, and extraordinary effects that are mind-affecting, enchantments, fear-related, or illusions. You start with the first talent in the Flight talent tree, which is Wings Budding, where you gain a +4 racial bonus on jump athletic skill checks, and may exceed your normal movement speed with a single jump. You may also take half damage from falling because you're able to your wings are about 5 feet across total. So you can actually take feats to get smaller if you choose. So you can actually be as small as tiny in our game. But you got to put the talents in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll just make a note of that. Okay, now, you expressed interest in the Chandler class, so I think I should explain the 3 different paths for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The 3 ones we have available in the Book of Magic, just to make things easier, are the Faustian Mechanic, the Sentinel, and the Witch. The Faustian Mechanic is our Techno-Wizard type class, our Techno-Magic guy. They're the ones that take modern technology and modify them into devices known as Faustian devices, Faustian Mechanics. These devices essentially are a way to use a spell within a projection of a physical device, and they have a tendency to be somewhat unstable. There is a malfunction rating for a lot of this equipment. But a Faustian Mechanic is really good at using those suckers here in order to do so. They're also known as FM for short.
So, for example, a giant 2-necked guitar that had a flamethrower and a machine gun built into the neck would...
We have the rules for that, oddly enough.
Excellent.
Yeah, basically what we can... Yeah. Now, you might have to start a little smaller as a first-level character, but the concept is sound.
Yeah. The concept is excellent. Okay, so I mean, I had already glanced through them, and I suspected I was going to want to be the Faustian engineer. But let's hear about the other ones, just so I know.
Okay, the Sentinel is a path that allows you to. Here, let me just grab the write-up here. Basically, they focus on an ancient code of civilization and their weapon progress. And they wander the post-apocalyptic world, bringing justice and order to various people, if you choose to decide to play that sort of guy. But your primary focus is you basically take a melee weapon, and you focus your energies and your magic and your stances through a weapon. Like, one of the builds we had was a Mystic Samurai for the Sentinel. So if you ever wanted to play those old, anime movies, you could actually do so within the game.
You want to play a character from Bleach.
Yeah. Like, I won't lie to you, I'm a Kenshin fan, and this class was definitely inspired by that. So, you can basically become a fighter, spellcaster, and you're allowed to use your weapon and modify it using your abilities within it by mixing hand-to-hand combat and your spellcasting. Now, the Witch is basically my class to represent medicine men, shamans, witch doctors, and other spiritual characters. This is probably the closest to the cleric in the original D&D here, but ultimately, you have 3 different types of power sources for the Witch, where you can choose corruptive, cursing, or luminescence. So you can build a character whose primary purpose is to basically curse the crap out of people, if you so choose, as well as generate various energy fields. And you can also get a guardian spirit to basically talk your ear off, if you so choose, and modify the various things around you. Basically, they're a focus of healing and harming, depending on how you want to play them. So those are the 3 conceptual models for the Witch, the channeler. So if you so desire.
So yeah, I think I'm going to go for the FM route.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I will pull that up here. Sorry, I'm bouncing here. I guess we'll start with the Faustian Mechanic, and then we'll do the Ritualist here. It'll probably be easiest here, just for argument's sake. Okay. Now, the Faustian Mechanic, its focus for spellcasting is Intelligence.
Okay.
Okay, so that's probably where you want to put your highest stat here, as far as that's concerned.
Right.
Basically, your additional class skill, you use Magic Device as a class ability, which is used a little differently than it is in standard D&D. A lot of the time, your use Magic Device ability is to use for attunement with items, because a lot of standard magical items are known as here. I would have to say we use something called the tier items, which is we tried to build the magical items on a tier system based on level, just so you know exactly what you want to build or not build, depending. And whereas Faustian items are built more like essentially reskinned wands with a lot of other tricks and traps in the built in there, because they're built with charges in mind. So often you're basically using a spell as a base to cast an item. Like, one of the more common items at your level would be a grease gun, where basically you splat it out and you create a grease effect as per the spell.
Right.
Now, bear in mind, the Faustian Mechanic is primarily a builder. There are spellcasting restrictions for this class compared to the other 2, because the ritual spellcasting is DC +2 for all casting, and it costs 3 additional spell points for these things. So you'll primarily be channeling your stuff through items.
Yeah.
And there's various different talents you can use to modify that based on your needs and requirements here. And it'll be interesting to see how well this thing plays out. Now, I guess my question to you is, what do you want to... Actually, hang on. Okay, nothing. Sorry, I just heard a beep. Basically, I'd recommend you play a race with an intelligence boost just for your first game, just to make things easier for you. Just so you get used to it, then you can try something a little bit more customizable at a later point, if you so choose. Like, if you have any doubt, just play a human. If not, there's at least 6 different races that get intelligence bonuses for your abilities. Just to make things a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's probably good advice. But I just love, once you started talking about the Minotaurs on the album covers,
you just
I fell in love with the idea of like the flamethrower guitar type thing.
I don't blame you one iota.
Okay. So purely for style reasons, not min-maxing reasons, I'm going to go this route.
I think that would be kind of awesome, actually. Okay, then make it so. So we're playing a Minotaur Faustian mechanic. I like this idea. Okay.
This is going to be the first time this is going to get tested, so we'll trust John to try to break it.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll do my best to make something horrific, and yeah.
Well, exactly.
I'll get Brad to help me.
No, that's understandable given the circumstance. Like, again, I kind of want to see where this turns out, because if it does break, we'll adjust accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so long story short, your creature type is your monstrous humanoid.
Okay.
You basically get 3 different... Your racial talent tree axis is growth, savage, and stout. Your strength +2, you speak trade tongue and one of choice, which ultimately, since you're speaking trade tongue, that makes things easier. And my cat's saying hi.
Hi, cat.
Okay, a dark vision 60 feet, baseline speed 30 feet, size medium. Okay. You have natural horns, which do 1d6 damage. Criticals on a 20 times 2. And you can gain additional 1 racial talent from the Grow, Savage, or Stout tree. Talent trees you're qualified to take. Additionally, you have a special ballad you can do, which is known as the Rocker's Ballad of Skill Talent, as a free talent you may use in order to give your buddies bonuses to skill checks.
Okay.
And you also have Minotaur Navigation, where you gain +2 bonus to any skill checks, typically survival and use vehicle, to avoid getting lost or finding your way around. This might be incredibly useful if you end up in the ruins. And basically you can use it against powers that also affect your direction. However, there is a limitation. You cannot wear head slots, eye slots, or boot slots items unless designed for you, which costs twice as much, but seeing as you're starting at first level, I don't think that really applies.
Right.
So we'll try to accommodate as best we can, and we'll see where it builds. So if you need to refer to it on your own, it's on the page 14 of the Book of Arrogance.
Gotcha.
So if you want to just to make your life easier,
Yeah.
Now, the good news is we actually do have equipment rules when it comes to building crazy items.
Yay!
Like, we actually built a musical item section where we actually can modify your equipment as per se, where you can actually build a combat instrument case, and you can also build it using masterwork item and so forth. I don't know how far we'll get, but we can always reskin it if it doesn't end up coming out right away, and we'll see where it leads. Okay. So I guess the first thing I'll begin is, do you have access to the... basically, to use the Ballad skill, you can basically once per day for 1 minute. Ballad skill allows reroll of an ally's failed roll at a +1 bonus. So this will be really useful if you end up doing a lot of skill challenges here. So you're a helper.
Gotcha.
And that's why they're so scary. They're big, scary, and they organized well together.
I will be the wind beneath your wings, my friends.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. So
I had to mute because I'm laughing so hard. That's amazing.
I ain't complaining. It's awesome, man. Okay. I guess the first thing we do is, do you have access to your character sheet?
I can't edit it, but I can see it.
Okay.
So that's probably my fault.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a way to do that here. That might be the biggest bottleneck we have right now.
Well, you have it open on Google Drive?
I
I'm
do
downloading it now to see if Acrobat will let me.
Okay, so yeah, Acrobat should let you edit it, but also on Google Drive, if you open it and then do open with Doc Hub,
Oh,
that
okay.
should
Yeah,
let you edit it. And
there
in
we go.
theory,
Thank you,
I'll
Brad.
be able to
Oh, thank you
open
kindly.
it too and
You have
show it to people.
you have opened my eyes. All
What
right.
did you open it with, Brad? So I just can make a note of that.
Oh, Doc Hub.
Doc Hub. Thanks, Brad. I
No
mean,
problem.
the character sheet is definitely one of those things that I'm still trying to wrap my head of how to do a proper one. So I do apologize for any problems you guys have with it. If you guys want to find your own proprietary, we would have no issue with that either. So.
Okay. Well, it seems fine.
Just let me know if you come across any errors. I already noticed one error. The heavy carry capacity, I fixed and sent it to Chris, and for whatever reason, it's not working on mine. So some of the autocalcs aren't working as great as they should be.
Okay.
Also, now it looks like it is working. I had no idea what's going on.
Yeah, you intimidated into the submission.
Well, now this is weird. So I opened John's character sheet PDF
Yep.
in Doc Hub, and it says Brad's character
Oh,
sheet.
okay, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
It seems to want to point. Okay, I ran into that when I was trying to open yours as well. I thought it was just because it was me trying to open it, but yeah, there's some sort of confusion there.
Oh dear. Let me take a look.
So maybe if I try and open yours and you try and open mine.
Hey, I got no problems with that. Oh, you
Let's
guys
see.
built the characters yet?
and Rex is open just fine. That is happy to open as a separate one, but it seemed to get the R2 confused. I'm not sure why. Maybe because
Yeah, that's
strange.
totally bizarre.
Yeah.
Should I take away share permission just so one can access the other? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
Okay, the question is, can Brad still act? No, he can't. I assume you want to show this thing online, and if I get rid of his share access,
Oh,
he might
that's
not be able to
right.
show it on the Twitch. Oh well, it's worth a shot.
Give it a shot. We can change it later. Oh, and
Okay.
John, you are really dark. Is there a light you can put on by any chance?
Oh, yes. Yes, there is. But I like the dark.
I can't really argue with that.
I think I'm gonna
My
do
cats
the
are
same
trying to
thing.
say hi now.
That's awesome.
Sorry about that.
That was kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, that was metal, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. Getting in character.
That's the Minotaur warming up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. What is the ugliest sound I can make with these objects? Okay. Then that looks a little better.
It's all good. Your cat agrees.
I
Yeah.
am a little bit jealous that you're playing the Minotaur because I'm sort of a metalhead, but it's okay. It's okay.
There's always
Walking.
next time.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess once you have access to the character, I guess we'll begin.
Let's see. Okay, let me try one more time. I lost it here. Yeah, it's still giving me Brad's. Okay, so Brad, I'm going to try and open yours like I was talking about
Okay.
Oh,
and see if that ends up, if Doc Hub then ends up opening mine. Nope. It says
Oh.
Brad's character sheet. You know what I wonder? Is there something in the file itself that labels it Brad's character sheet? Even though it said, even though the
Here, let me take a look, because all I did was upload a blank character sheet and relabeled the file name.
Gotcha. So John character sheet full PDF.
Yes.
And it sure looks blank. But yeah, when I go to Doc Hub, it says the title of the document is Brad's character sheet.
Can you even type in the sheet?
Let me find out. Just bringing it up again for the third time.
Okay. What I'll do then is I will remove Brad's character sheet for now and see if it allows you to focus on that one character sheet once we know that you can type in the thing, and see if that helps. And then I'll just upload it once we get the other one together.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird problem. Okay, it's still thinking about it, so I don't know when it's going to get around to it.
Okay.
There it goes. Create duplicate. Just imported a file that you previously imported to DocHub. So I'm thinking... Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Open existing. Okay, it's letting me update this file, whatever it is. It still says it's Brad's character sheet.
Okay, I'm going to try to remove Brad's character sheet for now.
Let me see if I can just retitle it from within,
Yeah.
and then let's see which file changes. Come on. Darn it. Maybe it doesn't let me edit that. It should. Huh.
Oh, and I do have it open right now, so if you need me to, I can exit out, and then that may...
Well, I'm not even sure it's really opening the same file or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, I just...
Oh well, the best laid plans of mice and men.
Yeah. Weird.
Would it help, Chris, to maybe re-upload it on your side?
I will attempt to do so.
And maybe just re-upload it as is the basic character sheet, and maybe he can download it and resave it himself.
Okay, I will do so. One moment.
If that's okay, John.
Yeah. Let's give it a try.
Okay, I'm uploading the DR character sheet full. It is now uploaded. I'm going to share it with John. One moment. Okay, it has been shared with John, and John only. I want to see what he can do with it.
Hooray. DR character sheet full.
That's the one.
Okay. So open it. And then I'm going to try and save it somewhere else. Weird. Sorry, my system is super slow.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's also kind of a beastly page.
Okay, here we go. Save to my desktop. Okay, I'm opening it on my system here, and I am able to edit it just fine. So
Hooray.
I will rename my copy. And I guess I can just email it back or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you can either
that's
upload it here.
downloaded, or you're editing it on Google?
No, it's downloaded on my system.
Oh, okay.
It is. I'm editing it on the laptop.
Okay. Well, see if you can take the one from Google and then do the open it with that viewer I talked about that I don't have the name of.
Oh, try and open the blank character sheet. That
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Open with .hub. Thinking.
Yeah. It does take it a moment.
Brad's character sheet.
Wow.
That's
So-
hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead and open it anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
It's taken a long while. It took a really long time last time. So.
That's even weirder because Brad's character sheet's no longer uploaded.
Yeah.
I am beside myself.
So I do think it's got to be a label inside the file that got set somehow. I don't know. That like there's an internal name as well as a file name. Yeah, it says that I'm creating a duplicate of something that's already up there.
Weird.
Create a duplicate. See what it's.
Okie dokie.
Is it still thinking, or?
It brought up a character sheet that I had edited and put my name in the field, but it still said it was yours.
Okay. In the top right, there's
Yes.
there's a menu that has document properties, and under document properties, there's title. Try changing that to John's character sheet and see if that does the trick.
Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I just went somewhere totally weird. Okay, so I'm looking for document properties to relabel it internally. Yeah, because I tried editing where it shows the title, but it wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah.
Let me just check. Maybe it's set up to. Maybe it accidentally set the toggle for read only or something silly like that. Let's just take a look. No, it's not read only. Weird.
So I'm not seeing like a properties.
Oh, okay. So in the top right corner, is there an icon with 3 lines and then a down arrow?
Yes.
Yeah. Click on that.
Document
and then,
properties.
Yeah.
And that's where it says the title is Brad's character sheet.
Okay.
So it is now
let's fix
John's
that.
character sheet. Okay. John's character sheet. That looks so much better.
Yay.
Okay. And then under privacy and sharing, if you could share that with, I guess, the Void Razor Gmail.
Gotcha. Let's see. Who has access? Let's see. So VoidRaiser at Gmail. I'm going to add you as a contributor, just in case you do want to make edits to it. And you should have access.
Okay.
It appears that basically only Brad and I have access. So I don't know if you want me to share it out.
Yes, but let's get it. Right now, the only people that really need access are you and Twitch. Once we get through that, I'll request a share out once we've got it done and completed.
Okay. And it's not showing up.
Okay,
That's
scratch
not
that.
shown up.
Well, it's not the end of the world if we can't get this to work, but we
Yeah.
spent 15 minutes on it. It'd be nice to get it to work. Maybe it's just taking a little while to upload.
Huh. It says you have access. So VoidRazor at gmail.com.
Yep.
Oh, technology hates us.
Apparently.
Yeah, both so
Okay.
useful and so frustrating at the same time.
At the same time.
Well, okay. Under the permissions and sharing, there's also a URL.
Yes.
Could you post that to chat? Maybe I can access it.
Yes. I could, but what's in it for me?
Playability!
Playability? Okay, I'm sold. There it is. And it's still file name. It says Brad's character sheet.
Really? Wow.
And that's just wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I
Right.
changed the title, but it's apparently that's the file name it started with, so it's just gonna go with it.
Okay, we have success though.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Okay.
I've successfully
Weird.
edited my name into it, at least.
Yep. Okay. We are cooking with fire.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'm going to go with the Phelan rather than the Harvester, come to think of it. Largely because I think the Phelan might be a little bit more interesting, and I saw that the Magister can choose either int or Charisma as their primary stat. And
Yep,
the
that's
Phelan
correct.
get a bump to Charisma, right?
That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
That's actually... So yeah, that works nicely. So I guess, John, if you're ready, let's begin.
Okay.
Okay, long story short, if you know your know D&D, you know the stats, so there's not a problem there. Basically, it's your standard D20 matrix of strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
Yep.
For your character, your main spellcasting stat is intelligence for the philosophy mechanic. Okay, so I guess at this point, yeah,
Thank you, Jason.
Jay just posted the chat as far as the actual array is concerned, just to make it easier. So basically, you pick these stats, arrange to taste, and
Okay.
basically, you get a +2 to strength because you're playing a Minotaur, which means you're
Gotcha.
probably going to be a very much a hand-to-hand Minotaur philosophy mechanic, which actually works better than you think.
Yeah, no, I think it could work. pretty awesomely. I mean,
We'll team up
So-
on the front line.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And
so
I'll be pseudo on the front line, sitting on your shoulder.
Fair
Sounds
enough.
like a plan.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's the standard D&D stats, but is there anything special we should know about them in the Dark Revelations context?
Okay, there's something I should bring up before we go any further, just to be on the safe side. Magic is powerful, but it's kind of unstable. In order to cast a spell, you'll need to do a ritual check. Okay? The base casting for the ritual is based on a DC, which is 10 plus your spell level times 2. So if you're trying to cast a first level spell, it'd be a DC 12 to cast unmodified. So one of the reasons you want to put your intelligence in there is, let's say you put your 15 in intelligence, okay? You would get a +2 bonus just based on the intelligence. Plus, you would set up your spell, points accordingly. So basically, once you put in your points there to your ritual casting here, let's say you put in a full 1 point plus is a class level, so you'd have about a +5 casting. So you roll 1d20 +5 and try to beat the DC here.
Mhm.
Now, if you roll a 1, there is a malfunction, okay? Generally, we've actually nerfed the crap out of it, and especially since you're casting relatively low-level spells. But the more powerful the spells you cast and mess up, the more likely you are to have weird and bizarre effects. If you roll a 20, it is considered a masterful casting and will not cost you any spell points.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And that way, it just adds a certain degree of little bit of unstably without too many problems here. And also allows you to cast it 1 level higher. Thank you, Jason. Okay. Now, as far as you basically get a number of spell points per level. For the Faustian mechanic, it is... Here, hang on. I'm just going to flip to the book.
4, 2.
Okay. Yeah, basically get, for a Chandler class, you get 3 plus the ritual attribute bonus per level. So if you put the 15 in there, you'll get 5 spell points per level.
Okay, 15 in... Wait a second, 15 in where?
Well, if you put the 15 in intelligence,
Oh, yes, which
You get-
I've done.
yeah, so basically you get 5 spell points per level.
Okay.
So 3 plus 2. It's pretty self-evident. Beyond that, I don't really have any recommendations, but if you're going for the front lines, you might want to put it in strength and constitution just so you survive your next highest stats.
Yeah, so, so I may switch Constitution around a little bit, but what I did was put the 14 into Strength, so that it's 16 with the bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I put the 13 into Charisma because, I mean, what's
You're
the
a
point
rocker,
of
man.
rocking,
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, and then Constitution 12
Okay, that makes sense. And then just put the 2 10s in the last 2 stats.
in Dex and Wisdom. Yeah.
Not a problem. Okay. That covers the first stage.
Okay.
Now, you've already picked your race, so I guess I better read out that again. Make sure you write it down in the character sheet. 1 sec.
Yeah. So Minotaur in the template was...
If you want, I can post in the chat if it makes it easier.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'll try to do it 1 line at a time just to make things easier. Actually, if it'll let me, 1 sec.
Okay, so monstrous humanoid. Okay, they may take templates.
They may
yes.
indeed. It'd
Even
probably be good to start off as this straight Minotaur for now.
Okay.
The great thing about the templates is once you get used to the game, and if it comes up in role-playing, we can just slap on one later.
Fair enough. I can always get the radiation accident that turns me into a mutant.
Absolutely.
In
Yeah.
fact, it's designed for our game. One of the things-
Yes. When there is a a core breach on the reactor of my guitar.
I like it.
That's kind of amazing.
I don't know if we have the rules, but by God, we will.
We also have one of the core ideas we came up with was the idea of reskinning, and we've done a lot of this kind of idea. Like, take an item, as long as you don't change the stats, you can make it look like almost anything you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. So it's special effect. The
Yes,
appearance is just
Yeah, it's just your character trope, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so for now I've got no character name, but I have the race as Minotaur, class path as Channeler, Faustian Mechanic. Okay, I've got to go skim through the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this stuff is all in the books, right?
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
I did ultimately manage to download them to my system. I just haven't cracked them open. So, okay.
All good.
So where do I put the monstrous humanoid bit, or do I?
You can. What I did with mine, I'm just finishing off mine right now because unfortunately my character sheet is a little bit mess. I just put under race/template. I just put it in brackets.
Okay, that makes sense. That's
Yeah, rather than having a full separate place in brackets, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
As long as we can see it, I think we can find it.
Yeah.
Precisely.
You'll figure out what it means. Okay, good
Absolutely.
enough. Okay, so let's see. Racial talent tree access. Do I need to record that, or I just need to know that for future?
We can always come back to it if you decide to go, hey, I want a racial talent. We can come back and look it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Additionally, the Minotaur does get one free racial talent.
Yes.
So,
Oh, okay.
and they are in the main book if you need them.
Okay, gotcha. So yes, I'll probably not finish this right now, but do a little reading. And okay, so I've got the strength +2 already in there. Languages.
Trade tongue and one of choice.
One of choice. Yeah, is that just in other notes, I guess?
If you go to the skills page, which would be number 3, page 3 on my character sheet, there will be a check mark box right beside it. Trade tongue is default checked.
Oh, I only have 2 pages.
What?
What the heck?
I've got I've got the main page,
Yeah,
and then I've got a combat page.
but you're missing the skill page.
There is no
What?
skill page.
That's even weirder because
There is definitely a skill page.
Oh, wait. Here it comes.
Oh,
Is
just
It took a
slow.
while to load.
it's
Sorry.
rendering.
So it just looks blank until it starts drawing stuff.
Yeah.
So I just
Nice.
thought there was nothing there.
I'll definitely take any tips for character sheet creation. I tried to
Fair
make
enough.
it colorful and I made it kind of slow.
It is still thinking about it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway. It's showing a bunch of different fields and a couple of numbers, but nothing. No. There it goes. Okay.
Okay, that's a relief.
It just took a really long time. Okay, so why did we start doing this again?
Languages.
Languages.
Languages. Okay.
And we might as well do your skills while you're on this page too, so we're not flipping too much.
Okay, sounds good. So, trade tongue, I take it is common.
Yeah, so I have a defaulted check mark. You should see a default check mark.
Yeah, it's in there.
And then select one of your liking.
Let's see. What would be appropriate for a Minotaur tech musician guy?
Gaelic.
Folk music. I was thinking, is he kind of an otaku? Would synth make sense so that he's communing with, like, synth is for I assume synthetic.
Yeah, synth is actually it's really hilarious. This is actually our short term for what do we call it, Chris?
Synth speak, which is short for photosynthesis. It's the plat tongue.
Okay, I see.
You can speak plant. If you want to make it sound like it, if you want to make the plant synth tongue sound like a 1970s like harpsichord or something, that'd be fine.
I love that Leet is his own language.
Or like a theremin.
Yeah, a theremin sounds about right. There will be a theremin built into the instrument.
Not a problem.
Nice.
Okay, well, I am... So what's... Otaku, I assume, is like net nerds, but what is Leet? Or maybe it's the other way around.
No, Leet. Leet is from the upcoming Book of Progress.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's all fine.
And what it basically is take all our internet shorthand, put it 300 years in the future as in proper language. Yeah.
Right. It's become it's the speech of online stuff.
And the cyber cult.
Oh, and the cyber cult.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking, that might make sense for this guy because he is so sort of techie in a way, but I'm not sure if it really makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with demonese so that I can sing the choruses can be in actual demonese.
That'd be cool.
Nice.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
I'm doing it. There we go. I'm checking. Trying to check. It's thinking about it again. There it goes. Okay, so I speak demonese as my second tongue.
Because it's metal.
All right. So what's
was
next?
The trade tongue another a different language, or is that just like pick one?
No, trade tongue.
It's up there. Okay.
Yeah. Trade
Common.
tongue is basically D&D common.
Okay.
It's the common language that we won't define.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay, so doing, I guess, skills next. How does this work?
Okay, so how many skill points per level do you have?
4 plus intelligence, which would be 6 points per level.
So put in 6 at the top where it says skill points per level. And as you select ranks in your skills, it'll kind of auto-calculate the number of skill points used. The only thing I wasn't able to get to... Oh, dear. We
We'll play the wedding game.
might have to try to get an easier to use sheet for you.
Okay. I'm back. I was frozen before. I was only getting every other word. So that's frustrating. Okay, so we've done language. we filled in the 6 skill points per level. Total skill points, I guess 6.
Yeah, that's just so you can keep track as you level up.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, and I can figure out skills later on.
Okay, sounds like a
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, and the other stuff I just put under feats, I suppose, for the most part.
Yeah, feats and talents is just kind of a big drop box of whatever you can put up in there.
Okay. Now it has forgotten what the first pages look like. In the
Oh,
best
dear.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I
It's a
blame
learning
Google.
experience. Agreed.
Yes. I blame a cruel deity that enjoys watching us dance like puppets on strings.
That's what I said.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'm doing a
should we
lot of
do-
waiting on this, so feel
Yeah.
free to like move on and do other
Yeah.
things.
Should we do
Okay.
feats and talents or skills next?
Sorry, what was it again?
Should we do feats and talents or skills next?
Yeah. Let's do. I guess feats and talents would probably make a lot more sense because that's going to ultimately be the meat of the actual character itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your character will start off with. Here, let me flip it up. Basically, you'll start off with 1 feat and 1 talent at first level. You also get the spellcasting and the associated channeling points here. So, seeing as you're playing a Foster mechanic, there's quite a few entry-level spell, abilities in order to get your access.
Okay.
They are in the book between pages. Well, they start at page 34, the actual Foster mechanic path, the channeler path, and then it goes on to different ideas and concepts. Now,
Okay.
I'm just trying to see what would be appropriate. I can read a whole bunch of talents off to you in order to see which one grabs there. Sorry, which one are we talking about, John or Brad?
Either one first is fine with me.
Okay. Okay.
Well, so I was thinking that I would like to take some time and just read up on the things. So go ahead with Brad.
Okay, Brad.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start at the beginning here. You want to play a Phelan Magister, which is absolutely awesome. And we'll just have to wait and see where that goes. I will do the same thing I did with John there, and I'll post the basic racial conceptual concepts in there,
Okay.
just so you have easy access here. Just give me a sec. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're about the same size as a halfling or gnome right now.
Okay.
So you're not like truly small, but they are possible to actually get to the really small levels if you decide to build on that.
So I could get smaller as I leveled up.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because it's magic.
Yes.
You don't need to explain it. Also, because you're Fey, you only need 4 hours of sleep, which is interesting. Yeah, that's the basic racial stuff when it comes to the actual Phelan,
Okay.
and basically what it covers here. So you're short and filled with energy, and apparently like to cast things. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Okay. So should I put down wings budding under feats to start?
Oh, absolutely. Those are talents you get automatically. Just like John got the Ballad of Skill automatically on top of everything else here.
Okay.
Like, for everything else, you basically got to give me to start off the feat chain. But for any future ones, you're going to have to spend your talents based on level progression.
Okay. So there's wings budding, and then did the Magister class or path start with one as well?
Well, you got actually two Fey racial talents. One of them is Wings Budding, and the other is Fey Mind.
Oh, okay.
So those are on top of any other ones. Now, your Magister starts off with one talent, one feat as well at first level.
Choice.
Choice. Yes.
That you're qualified to take.
Of course. So you'll be starting at the beginning of the chain. Like, this is just the start of hopefully a fun progression. Now,
Okay.
ritual. Yep. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, I just noticed with the character sheet, it's not a big deal, but whenever I click in the feats and talents form, it behaves a little bit strangely. Like it seems like the lines separating the separation lines are sort of an overlay over it rather than being.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Not a problem. I can work with it. I just figured I'd point it out.
Yeah, as long as you can work with it. My box went a little bit weird. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. So after the two racial talents, there's one feat and one talent that can be anything that I qualify for.
Yeah.
Are there areas that you would specifically recommend? I'm thinking that I'd want the next level up of the flying talent tree, given that a 20-foot move is really slow, right? I mean, it's sort of the standard is 30.
Yeah, because you're small size right now. So if we take a look in our player's guide, hang on here. Under racial talents, racial and template talents, flying racial talents. Okay, so your next step is actually what my character also has, and it's not going to be super beneficial for you right now, but it does go into the other cool ones as you level up.
Okay.
So let me see if I can copy and paste it, and maybe just put it into the chat where I wasn't trying to explain it offhand. Okay. Hopefully this will not be too much of a text block. It's a text block.
Of course. No worries.
So you gain basically skin flaps that are a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So you can fly at clumsy speed equal to half your ground speed. So you'll be able to fly at 10 feet.
Oh, egad. Okay.
as a move action. Which, hilarious enough, because the weight of the armor I am wearing right now, that's basically my fly speed too.
Oh, I see.
But one of the interesting things about the flight ability, of course, is that means you always have the ability to be out of somebody's melee weapon range.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 feet up, as long as they don't have reach, you're okay.
Yeah, just realize this is a game with firearms in it.
Okay. Out of melee, but, anybody could aim at me because...
no, if you're thinking on more of pure magic user, where you're going to rely mostly on your spells as you go higher level, I'd recommend maybe a master talent or two right now, or if you go really weird, you can start getting smaller.
Okay.
Because tiny size and magic user means you do not get hit.
Ah. That sounds fairly appealing. Okay. And then where are the... okay, so those are the racial talents. And then there's also class talents?
Which you'd have to go to the Book of Magic for.
Okay.
Rich list, master, kind of starting on page...
It starts on page 67 of the Book of Magic.
Okay. Got it.
There's also, each class also has general talents you can take as well from the actual class itself that all paths can take.
Within the class.
Within the class.
Okay. So, is there a talent that a class talent that you would strongly recommend?
Well, what we kind of figured out that we tend to burn through spell points pretty fast.
That is correct.
So, Arcane Gift isn't a bad one. Or, I'm not sure if you can get at this level. Hang on, let me double check. Might be able to.
Also, another one you might want if you have a particular spell that you have your heart and mind, like, I don't know, like Magic Missile, you might want to consider it to be your signature spell.
This is true.
Because basically it'll allow you to, when you do your ritual school checks, your critical threat range increases to 19 and 20, and your save DC goes up by +2. You also get a +2 to knowledge occultism to recognize the spell and any of its lingering effects. Just an idea, I'm throwing it out there.
Okay.
Also, if you're worried about hitting hits, Abjuration Master might also be a good choice because it gives you a +1 dodge bonus to AC against touch and range touch attacks. But no, on second thought, don't take that.
That's a little bit more higher level.
Yeah, you probably don't need that right now.
Okay. So I'm not seeing the. Oh wait, is that? No,
It's a
that's
general
arcane
ritualist
resistance. I'm not seeing that talent that provided extra mana.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, turn to page 61. It's under the main ritualist basic talent tree.
Thank you, Chris. It's called Arcane Gift.
Okay, got it. Okay. So yeah, I'll go with either that or specialize in Magic Missile, but I think I'll probably go with Arcane Gift because
at this level, it gives you basically an extra daily use of a level 1 spell, or 3 level 0 spells, basically.
Okay. Let's go with that. I'll go ahead and write in the bonuses so I'll remember +2 to neutral skill rolls and +3 permanent spell points. I think I'm going to go with being tiny. That sounds, at the very least, fun.
Okay, let's see how tiny we can get you at level 1.
Okay.
You basically have one talent
You
at
know
level
me.
1.
So let's go to the Book of Magic, see how fast he can get small.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you only have one talent you can take.
Oh,
So
okay.
you've already taken your first talent.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
basically you
the,
can
other,
choose-
the other thing is the feet.
Yeah. So feet's a little bit different.
Yep.
You can either go with something from the basic handbook or something magical.
Okay. So where are the feats?
For
I
the
guess
magical
they're-
stuff, page 79, sorry, page 79
Okay.
is the list of feats from the magic book.
Okay.
Now, because of the nature of some of the stuff being kind of from the SRD, from the 3.5 SRD, a lot of it you have to kind of wait to a little bit higher level for, okay?
Yeah.
It really depends if you want to be kind of armored or combat casting. Combat casting's pretty good because it's kind of like the combat casting in 3.5 a little bit. The only difference is in our system is if you want to cast defensively, like not to provoke,
Mhm.
it increases the DC of your ritual check, is how it works.
That makes sense.
Right? And combat casting will negate that. It also negates other possible distractions as well.
Okay. Well, okay. If I went with armored spellcasting, can I just wear armor, or do it as a ritualist, or no?
No, you're still going to be restricted to light armor. The only difference is with ours, there isn't a percentage failure, as this the armor check penalty basically applies against your ritual check. So if you have like wearing armor that has an armor check penalty of -3, you would be at -3 to your ritual checks. It's basically how it works.
I see.
And armored spellcasting will negate up to two of those points. Is how that works.
Okay.
So if I look at the player's guide, what could you afford at level 1 becomes the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Armor.
Okay, well, changing the subject a little bit. Joe is recommending a talent for you, John, to channel through mechanics as a talent you might want to take here.
So what is the talent?
It's on page 37 of the Book of Magic. Its main purpose is to essentially get rid of the penalties for being a Foster Mechanical guy. Just let me grab the official wording here so I don't lead you to a wild goose chase. Basically allows the Foxy Mechanic to cast spells they know without their normal penalties for casting.
So it lets you function as a
standard
sort of a normal
spellcaster.
spellcaster as well. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, but you got to expend channeling points to equal to half the spell level being cast. Now, seeing as you're not going to be able to use your channeling point for much of anything, that's not a bad idea, at least in the short term.
Gotcha. It is, yeah, one that I am going to look at. Right now, I'm still trying to look up the racial skill trees to figure out, or the racial talent trees, rather.
That's understandable.
Growth, Savage, and Stout.
Yeah. Like, growth is the talent tree to get to size large.
Okay.
It's basically in increments of 3. You basically take the 3 talents up to in order to get to the full size.
Okay.
In order to get there. Savage is basically the animalistic traits in order to develop your character with unusual abilities such as cast iron stomach, musk spray, scent, thick hair, etc., which seems suspiciously appropriate for a minotaur, but aside the point.
Yeah.
Okay. The stout racial talent tree is basically hard to kill talent tree. You're tough as nails because of your race. Like,
Okay.
this is where ferocity went under. This is where no fear went under, which the Phelan got for some reason. And basically the ability to be stable. So, just some options.
Understand. Yeah, gotcha. So, yeah, I've got those lists up now, so that's helpful.
Yeah. What Joe's suggesting, which is a darn good idea, I would take Burning Hands as one of your first level spells, which is when available on the Fossey Mechanical item, and that way you cast it through your guitar, man.
Okay, okay.
15-foot fire spray, and that way you get exactly what you want.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sweet.
Another nifty effect of the Channel 3 mechanics is you basically go back to casting 0-level spells like a ritualist. So you don't have to spend channeling points to cast 0-level spells.
Okay.
And the reason why that would be interesting for you as a frontline fighter is one of your possible 0-level spells is Daze.
Okay.
Are we still saying that 0-level spells are not a standard action, guys?
They're swift actions in our system now,
Yeah.
unless otherwise noted.
Yeah. So basically, it allows you to use your swift action to cast a 0-level spell, and then use your your standard action to cast the first level spell. This allowing you to lay down the hurt or obligations.
Gotcha. So I can daze somebody, and then follow up with the flaming guitar.
You got it.
Exactly.
And all was right with the world.
Yes, just getting better and better the more of it that was on fire.
Okay, so I'm thinking for my feet, maybe
Yes.
extra spell points.
Sure, yeah, I mean, that's the way to
you run
go.
it really quick, right?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's an excellent way to go.
Agreed.
And that kind of makes you, even though the number of spells you get is fairly limited at first level, you will have a little bit more than, say, the channeler.
Okay.
That's kind of your advantage.
Alrighty. Let me mark there's like a scribe scroll or something that,
Oh yeah, you get that as a free feat, I believe. Yes, you do.
scribe scroll,
Mhm.
okay.
Which would be great for later because spell learning isn't really at all like D&D. Basically, scrolls are used to store spells as emergency backup,
Okay.
right?
Now, the good news is you don't need to expend spell points when using a scroll. The bad news is you still need to be able to use a ritual check or use magic device in order to actually release the spell. Because you're basically casting from a piece of paper. And there is a chance of malfunction when it comes to any actual spellcasting, I believe.
Oh yes. Been there, done that.
Yeah,
Oh my.
yeah.
But that
it makes
does
you
sound
feel
like
any
fun.
better. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, again, a spell mishap can happen, and sometimes it can work in your favor. It's ultimately determined by... Like, we wanted to stimulate the old 80s cartoon Dungeons & Dragons with the stupid hat.
Oh, uh-huh.
Okay, and hopefully with a little bit of luck, this will simulate that.
Yeah. 1 second, guys. Hello, welcome back. Oh, howdy. I'm on a teleconference, so... Yep. Okay, sorry if I was extremely loud. I should have muted before I did that.
No, no worries, man. That's all good. Okay. Now, I guess the big thing I should bring to both of your guys' attention is check your class for how many spells you get per level, because it determines there. For example, the Ritualist will start off with quite a few spells. They start off with 2 0-level spells, standard, 2 utility spells, utility, and they start with 1 of each for first level. Whereas the Channeler class starts off with 2 0-level spells and 1 first-level spell. And essentially that's where you're going to be, generating your spells from your spell points. Instead of looking for spells, it'll go up in a progression per level in order to do so. But there are ways around that once we get into the system. So if you have any ideas, the Channeler has a dedicated spell list, like what you see is what you get. Whereas the Ritualist classes, you get the base spells, and then you get a certain additional spells based on your path.
Okay.
In fact, at higher levels, one of the big advantages of the Magister is they could actually steal from other people's spell lists to take the right talents.
Another thing to note, I don't know if this is still a rule. I apologize. I'm actually working off an older version of some of the PDFs. Do Faustian Mechanics still get that bonus spell at level 1?
Reading, one moment. I'll make sure. Absolutely. Start with that.
Yay.
Yes, you get an additional spell at character levels 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 15, and 15, and 17. So I guess you can start with 2 first level spells if you choose.
Okay, so at level 1, I can have, 2 first level spells, and how many 0 levels?
2.
2? Okay, so... Alright, well I already know what half of rolls are going to be.
Sweet.
Okay, well, you're ahead of me.
Say again?
You're ahead of me.
Well, I don't know. So I'm still stuck on the... Well, I'm not stuck, I guess, but I'm going over the racial talent trees and trying to decide what goes well with this character.
Oh, there's a okay.
So I was thinking maybe no fear under the stout tree, because I see him as, bellowing in the face of, a giant tank that's rushing towards him.
I say do it, man.
A little foolhardy, but...
Yeah, well, if nothing else, it'll take care of your fear checks. Between you and the Phelan, you're scared of nothing.
Yeah.
I like it.
That'll be great.
That sounds like great potential for role-playing and humor. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so I am going to go with no fear as my
Free racial talent.
free racial talent, yes.
So let me make sure I have this right. So I get 2 level 0 spells that can be essentially anything on my list, and then another 2 that need to be utility spells, and then a 1-on-1 distribution on first levels.
Here, let me just double check here. Okay. basically, you get the first set of spells can be taken from the ritual spell list combat, or your path, which is Magister.
I see.
And then the other spells list that have the U behind it are utility spells. So you're going to be able to potentially cast a lot of spells, provided your spell points hold up.
Yes. Okay. And where would I find the listing of the spells?
Oh, certainly. It's on page 119 for the ritualist. And for your own notes, it's for 116 for the costume mechanic.
I'm sorry, I was doing something else.
It's all good. Page 116 has your spell list
Oh,
for the
okay.
costume mechanic. It's just so you can look at it and decide what you want to do with it.
Yes.
What I would recommend, if you have any doubts or any questions, let me know, because some of the spells may be slightly different than the ones you're familiar with.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, Jay's back. I'm going to do a pit stop. I'll be right back myself. Okay?
Alrighty.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you guys have any other questions, are we on spell selection already?
We are.
We are.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I'm not sure everything else got done.
It'll get done in time.
Yeah.
I might consider see if I can figure out, or I'll get Joe and Chris to give me a hand of figuring out maybe a better setup or a better character sheet, a little bit less oomphy,
A little less oomph.
a little bit more simplified. So what were you thinking? Who's in spell selection right now? Brad?
I am, yeah.
I'm
So-
also looking through. Yeah.
We were looking through. Yeah, and you guys found the giant list, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Restricted to it.
And Chris explained to Brad on the utility spells, correct?
Well, that I can take one spell from, for my 0 level spells, I can take 2 combat spells, and those are either from the ritualist or magister list, and then 2 utility spells of level 0, and
Right, yeah.
and then 1-on-1 on first level spells.
Cool. And again, if you get through and you kind of like, I'd rather trade out, my feet for this, feel free to, for sure.
Oh,
So
I
it's
should
just
take.
flipping- Oh, go ahead.
Go. Okay, I should take Mage Hand so I can play a 3-necked guitar.
Nice.
Well, not
Yes.
technically allowed by the spell. We will allow you
Yeah.
to do it for hilariousness. Either
Yes.
that, or
Just
The rule
for
of cool applies in this case.
Yes.
of course, prestidigitation, so you can have minor fireworks every time you walk into a room.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I definitely need my own pyrotechnics,
Doesn't everybody?
Do you get prestidigitation as a?
Yeah, it's a possible. Yeah.
I think we gave it
But
for
it's-
every class.
Yep.
So normally the word means sleight of hand. What does it mean in D20?
Prestidigitation. It's kind
Yeah.
of a catch-all for like really, really minor cantraps. Let me
Okay, I see.
It's just silly stuff. This is definitely SRD stuff. Hang on here, presentation.
Some examples including changing your hair color,
Okay.
flavoring your food if you want a particular flavor of something here. It has some distinct limitations because it is a 0-level spell, but it's kind of fun to play with.
So it's kind of cosmetic alterations, and
It's totally cosmetic. So you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can lift 1 pound of material about 1 foot per round.
gotcha.
That's one of the things. You can clean or color items, so you can clean your clothes, or make them look grungy, so you can do grunge.
If I need, yeah, right.
Right.
No, that's later. More
yeah.
the 90s, yeah.
You can even make small objects that basically have no value that last for 1 hour.
Okay, gotcha.
you
So,
can-
if I lose my guitar picks,
Yeah, that
Exactly.
I'll just call one out of thin air.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I will probably go with prestidigitation just because it's flexible and fun.
Exactly.
We even added added from our own thing, kind of the comic, like the old school comic thing, where you could literally have like the 1960s Batman bang and
Bang,
kaboom
ow.
as he hit people.
Well, you guys should play Toon if you want to go that far. I mean,
Yeah,
the
We
rules
kinda-
already exist.
I think we added that after we developed the failing because we realized that was basically about it.
Right.
Okay. So, Days is looking good.
Days is that 1 round they cannot act.
Yeah.
And that makes you the major support character for anybody up in the front lines.
Yeah.
Gives you a chance to smack them silly.
Yeah.
So what
And it
does
seems appropriate
so
for a Fae. Sorry.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Like, so if I was to do a dispel magic sort of thing, like that, basically I do it musically. That you know, I play a song that cancels the spell through my special guitar.
You can totally work it that way, absolutely.
Okay.
Even though
Absolutely.
you know you're not the rocker psychic, that's fine. I mean, it's like, yeah, I played it. That's my casting of the spell, quote unquote.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay. Well, you know, my dad was a rocker, and he expected me to. But I took a different path.
See, that's so easy to write the character that way.
Exactly.
There's your.
I rebelled. I didn't want to play rock and roll.
So you left the ranch and never looked back.
Yeah, I left the recording studio and never looked back.
Okay, it practically writes itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we kind of split the spell magic up into a couple of spells, and we're still kind of sort of working out the kinks on that. Because it's basically the D20, this spell, this kind of split up a little bit. Because we found the level 1 on its own almost too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it took up a page and a half by itself.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, what the heck? Do you think that having both Days and Flare would be redundant? Or do you think...
Well, Flare is basically just a temporary blinding. The only difference, let me see here. Flare.
I mean, it does say that they're not cumulative, the Dazzled and
Yeah.
Days, but seems
Well,
like...
the thing is, the accumulation would be really weird because Days, they cannot act at all,
Yeah.
right? Whereas Flare,
Yeah,
Basically, Jargon becomes
dazzled
dazzled.
is a minor penalty, but it lasts for a while.
Yeah, and it's also a fortitude versus willpower save. This is the kind of difference between the two.
So you're taking a different save. It
Yeah.
also is good as a temporary light effect, because it basically lights it up for like a round.
Yeah, it's basically like that moment in Pitch Black where they blow the fire and you see all the
Oh,
demons
yeah.
and it goes dark again.
Oh, yes.
Oh, great!
And it's like, great, I should not have cast that spell.
I set off the dinner bell.
What else do you have access to here? Let's see here. Ooh, crunchy. Oh, we misspelled something, Chris.
Okay, I'll write it down on the pad. What did I miss?
Page 119, rich list, 0 level. It should not be minor bonus. It should be minor resistance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That is actually minor resistance, and we changed up minor resistance quite a bit. We gave it a lot more flexibility.
Okay. Okay, I wrote it down in my scratch pad. I'll update the books.
Thank you.
And that's the real reason we haven't released these things for money. Basically, we just want to make sure we get all the kinks out before we start trying to run anything like a Kickstarter or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're paying for an editor.
That's the important part. Oh, good lord, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, minor resistance, I would almost recommend at low levels. 'Cause I think the bonus would go a little bit further.
I hear that.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's hero.
Oh.
Hero
Oh.
as in hero or spelt in a Japanese way?
The Japanese way. I just can't
Awesome.
pronounce it properly.
okay. Funny
That's
aside, cats are viable PCs in my game. We thought long and hard on that, and basically, the cats disappeared, but they came back, and now they're basically roughly human intelligence, which might be a downgrade compared to cats, I think. They're
Right.
the only race that starts as size tiny.
Nice.
You can't change now, it's too late.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
I'm actually in another campaign where all the PCs are cats.
Well, what are you guys playing?
Oh, it's a Fate game using the
Oh my God.
scenario called the Secrets of Cats. And
Oh my god.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. I own that book. That is so awesome.
So we've only done one session so far, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Like,
It's so crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to resist talking about my specific character. 'cause-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
But-
It's all good.
Okay, but we'll try stay on target.
Okay.
I will not taunt you with feline goodness.
Okay. Oh, that's a minute.
Yeah, remember distance works. Oh, Chris,
Yeah.
I shared Baldric with you. He should be done.
Okay, let me just take a look, see if I received it yet. One moment.
I shared it with you on Drive. Let's see if it works.
I should check out the rituals spells as well. Because they're all new, right? Or the Magister spell list, that's all new stuff.
Um, it's either new or modified from the SRD.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was copy and pasted, and as we started to go through, we started just to make minor changes to make our own things, and we kind of had a huge spell audit that's still kind of ongoing. So,
Yeah. Like, I don't. They did. Okay, the D&D magic system was built organically, and it shows.
Yeah.
We found a whole bunch of I don't know if they used a K9, Stay 9, or any sort of number crunching when they actually built the stuff. So we found things that are interesting, shall we say?
like the classic stuff, like message and mage hand and stuff like that. They're all basically the same as originals, right? Dancing lights, we just kind of reworded a little bit. So it's basically classic dancing lights. It's just you can kind of change up, how many you have.
Okay.
Right, just basically like little orbs that float around, right? Just like kind of like the classic, just very minor different mechanics. Crate Water hasn't changed that much, and definitely one of the most useful 0-level spells ever.
Mm-hmm.
But not useful enough to be like level 3 in first edition.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's just say things have changed over time as they try to find try to fidget things to make sure they fit the right spell level.
Arcane Mark is weird. We haven't really used it that much, but it's basically the classic Arcane Mark. It's basically, you're at high levels, you just put your stamp on everything because, you're
I am
mage.
shocked that you have not found great uses for that spell. It is...
I got one word for you: autographs.
When I used to play D&D with my gnome illusionist, and that was my only non-illusion spell was Arcane Mark. I just stamped on my underwear. Multiple pairs of underwear. 2 pairs of underwear for every single day.
Oh,
Clearly, that will lead to profit.
Hey, between that and emergency pants, your life is complete.
It's when South Park first came out, so you had to do underwear gnomes. That's what it's to it.
I can't argue with that.
Okay, and then we also start with just one feat that we can take, true?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
And
somebody had suggested
armored spellcasting, or
I'm trying to find the note again. Page 37.
Oh, Jay, your character has been received, and I can see it. Yeah, you might want to share it with Brad there as well, just so he has access to it for the game sessions. Sure. I will post in the chat which
Whisper.
email. Okay. How do you whisper? How do you whisper again?
/W and then.
So /W in your name.
Yeah, /W, then my name, and then your message.
I don't think that worked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, how does the manipulation skill work? And and this relates to the spell Sorcerer's Disdain. How does that work?
Manipulation is a combination. Well, hang on. Manipulation is a combination of intimidation, and plus a couple other things that we got from a couple other SRD systems, just kind of different ways of doing. Like instead of this being growly intimidate, you can ridicule them. Like your mother was an orc.
Yeah, basically, if you want to quip, this is the skill to take.
Yeah.
Basically, if you
it is charisma based, so.
And basically, if you use this skill, you can basically cause your opponent to become shaken for a number of rounds just by using your tongue, for lack of a better term. Be creative; it's part of the fun.
Okay.
And also, just a heads up, these are fear-based, which means you try to use it in the Minotaur, probably isn't going to work very well.
Okay. Well, I think the ridicule portion could work fine. I mean, your mom was a cow, a feed cow.
Good lord!
So you knew her then.
Oh, nice!
Yeah, so you can also force them to act friendly towards you, like change their disposition up. So you intimidate, and then someone comes up and uses diplomacy on them. So you actually gave the person using diplomacy an easier in to make them your friend.
Okay.
You play bad cop to their good cop.
Right, exactly. I was just about to say that's good cop, bad cop.
Okay. So the spell Sorcerer's Disdain just essentially gives at this level just gives a +1 bonus to the check.
Let's see.
Has it affect all creatures in range, or would that the manipulation normally just affect everybody in range? And
No, actually manipulation is usually one-on-one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right?
Okay, cool.
Whereas this one actually acts in an area effect, but then again, you're using a ritual check to try to cast it there.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely.
Yeah, again, this is a very experimental experimental spell. So if it works, great. If you don't think it's going to work, then that's part of the process.
Okay.
Yes.
And we take feedback, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I look forward to taking part in that experiment.
Sweet.
Ooh, you can actually even use Intimidate, I think a little bit faster. We didn't put an action on Intimidate, Chris.
That's a really good point. I guess if it doesn't say anything, it's a standard action.
Yeah, probably standard or swift. Or, I mean, move. So yeah, Sorcerer's Disdain would be actually be the good one of just doing as a swift action.
Yeah, because then you still have your standard and your move action on top of everything else.
Oh man, with his charisma, that's actually going to be really good.
Agreed.
The kobolds are coming.
Yes, I hear them. I hear them.
Yeah, those are the kobolds next door. I have a lot to say.
That's exactly how I think kobolds sound, like little dogs. Sorry.
Ah, yes, second edition style. No, I blame the frickin' scroller for that. That was an awesome game back in the day.
Shall we try and spread out our skills to make sure we've got we're not stepping over each other?
That's not a bad idea. Joe, you're the one that's the skill monkey, essentially, here.
You are indeed.
Sort of, yeah. It's the side effect of being an adventurer. My main skills on Rex are bluff, disguise, sabotage. Yeah, he's trustworthy.
Hang on, you took disguise and sabotage,
Yes.
and you have the mustache that we talked about earlier, right?
I'm pretty sure I do.
So,
Oh, nice.
So you are from the Beastie Boys music video.
I'm not sure which Boys music video you're talking about, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay, cool. You have a 70s porn stash. That's nice.
Yeah, and epic mutton chops.
Okay.
Yeah. Unlike most fantasy dwarves, Rex, instead of having the full-on Gimli beard, has an epic set of mutton chops and an epic mustache.
I just introduced him to Lord Flashman, the old 19th century cartoons, and I think he took it to heart.
And tinkering. So tinkering, sabotage, bluff, disguise, perception, and sense motive.
Nice.
So I'm the guy that's going to be opening the doors, setting the explosives, fixing things, bluffing my way through places, putting disguises on you in case we need to change how we look.
Good luck with Baldric. Just saying.
Yeah, Baldric's a challenge.
A tree.
Perception and
We're all going to be a challenge in that department. Like,
oh yes,
Yeah.
it's
Right now, the most
Fighting
human-looking person in
wings
the party
and,
is the dwarf.
yeah.
yeah.
It's going to be interesting until Brad decided to take the Phelan. I realized I was also going to be the smallest member of the party. Which
You're still medium size. It's fine.
oh, exactly. It's fine. It's okay. I'm now the second smallest. As you may have guessed from his name, Rex isn't exactly about being low key. Yeah. So that's what I cover. Particular areas that I don't cover are diplomacy. I don't have any driving skills. I don't have computer use skills.
Those can probably wait till later.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
this
have
first
stealth.
adventure's that could be a problem. Yeah, we'll see.
Stealth, survival, and treat injury, those are things I don't have. We should have somebody who can do treating injury and healing.
This is probably true.
Mm-hmm. Jay, what are your skills?
I got 1 point in acrobatics.
Oh. Nice.
Whoops, I forgot to do my -5 there too. Sorry, I forgot to do some of my
Armor mods.
How do I edit this? Open. Can I just edit and repost it?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see if it let me re-edit it. I just forgot my armor check penalties for some of my skills. That's what I use most of my skill points for. Is to negate my armor check penalties.
Yeah.
Because being large size will pose a teensy bit of a problem if we have to sneak around.
It might.
So
Well,
I got a
stand with
rank.
it.
I got a rank in acrobatics. I got a rank in gunplay, just for giggles. Survival is definitely my best. I will probably, I got a rank in survival, and I got a rank in stealth, which still gives me a -5 to stealth.
That's because he's big and he's wearing patchwork armor.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, Jason's playing a Burkel. These are a sub-demon that were basically using tools in the western part of the continent. Furthermore, Jason is a mutant. Or mutate, should I say. Could you
I'm playing
describe
a
your
complex character. Okay, let me see if I can reshare this then here.
Okay.
Do I remove the old one then, Chris?
Yeah, you can remove it and just reshare it. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay, once he's done. So that gives you at least a rough idea what people have. Additionally, I'm going to be doing a minor adjustment on the medical equipment once I get a chance here after talking with Jason. So
Yeah, we can do that by next week. So
Yeah.
put some money aside just in case.
yeah, if you decide to pick those, like there are many options here in this game. Besides, you might want to prefer to use scrolls for some reason.
Well, this is true. As a Feisty mechanic, scrolls actually would probably be the way to go.
Yeah.
And as a magister, because they can make them for free at first level.
Yeah.
Well, they get
Well.
the feat free at first level.
Yeah. So if we have off time, you can make some scrolls and some backup spells.
And I apologize that I'm taking forever to pick spells.
Oh, no
Don't
worries.
worry about
That's-
it. This is definitely part of the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good Imitata.
Remove that one.
So, definitely taking Prestidigitation as one of the zero-level utility spells. Because
it did it
it's
again.
amazing. But I guess I don't want to mirror you, John, entirely. You took Mage Hand as your other one, or did you take...
Oh, I'm sorry. What are you asking me?
Did you take Mage Hand as... Did you get 2 zero-level?
No, I did not take Mage Hand. I took Prestidigitation as my other zero level. And then I've got Counterspell and Burning Hands for my other ones.
Okay.
So my Sonic Magic Scrambler, device is built into the guitar.
Wait, you crank it up to 11 when you do it?
Well, yeah, that's what that 11 setting is for.
Oh, yeah.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do this. We're close to it. I didn't do it.
Okay, I'll just go with Detect Magic as the other one, just because.
That's actually not a bad one.
Yep.
So I think it was channel spells through mechanics that was being recommended to me.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. And... Is Foxhole an adaptation of Rope Trick?
No, it's literally a hole that digs itself in the ground in front of you.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
not
seriously?
even- it is literally a 10 by 10 foot pit that opens up in front of you.
Well, so now if it was literally, it would be a 10-foot pit full of foxes.
I can't argue with that logic.
Chain Prestidigitation as a swift action, and we will make it so. Do this
Illusionary
at the imaginary
foxes.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
The higher level combo that I'm giggling to see if anybody else tries is we have another kind of spell called Instant Doors that literally just, well, quote unquote, literally
No.
creates a door and a door frame in front of you.
Huh.
And the idea is to do the foxhole, and we have a Faustian device for this. Do a foxhole and then cast the door over the hole, and then lock him in the pit.
I see.
It's a little weird. A little weird.
That's okay.
I see you do not have sleep in the ritualist spell list. Which I sort of
Is it
understand.
not?
I don't see it. And it seems like something that's...
Or do we put it under the
Too
witch,
strong or-
maybe?
oh,
We
okay.
put it under which one? Yeah,
We
sorry,
did
man.
put it under the witch.
No worries.
That's how we kind of split it up. Sorry. However, because you are a master, as part of your equipment, you can buy a couple scrolls of it for cheap. Just cast it off the scroll.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something I could actually afford at first level?
Good question. Let me take a look.
For scrolls.
Looking right now. Okay, a first level spell for a first level casting is 25 GVs. You start with 200.
Okay. Nice.
It is possible, but you might want to figure out what you want when you pick it, because you're not going to be able to get more than 2 to 3 at most, and that's assuming you're hamstringing everything else.
Yeah.
And actually, that reminds me, we'll be okay after our first adventure. Just remind me to, for my character when we start playing, to spot you some money once he gets some money, to buy him some healing stuff.
Okay.
Because I'm the only one that cannot be healed in a normal way.
You see, Jay's character is a desecrator. He's a very low-level desecrator that was basically, essentially a gargoyle for all intents and purposes. This means that unlike other creatures that are not undead or desecrators, he heals from corruptive energy and hurts norms from luminescent energy. So just something to keep in mind here.
Do not cast Cure Light Wounds on me. You will kill me.
Yep.
Again,
Just some food for thought.
Yeah, we've also been there, done that.
Yeah, we did a lot of things that were incredibly silly.
You forget what spell you have on your spell list and cast it on your friend and go, uh-oh.
Okay. I believe that was when Joe was playing a Harlow, and he basically... You were going to cast a spell on her, or was... No, it was the other guy.
Yeah.
And basically, yeah, I believe Joe told the guy very politely but firmly, stop what you're doing right now.
No.
Yep.
I remember that. I want to play her again. That's been a while.
Oh, Chrysalis was awesome.
My Harlow Sentinel.
Okay. Long story short.
Hopefully fixed. For
Yay.
my character sheet. I think I got my armor check penalties where they need to be.
I think that'd be good.
So yes, the only thing I'm really good at, Chris, is the survival. I can help track.
That's good to know, because I'll give you guys an idea what you need to cover as far as skills and abilities concerned. Now,
good idea.
Bear in mind you are in a city, so some skills that you might not think are useful might be very useful, depending. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but let's just say we had a very interesting skill montage when we were doing some testing.
Oh man, we're missing him.
Oh, you're missing Mathaway hard, man. Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, one of the things we like to do in our game here, and one of the reasons we built it the way we did, is we wanted to translate all those silly pop culture comments that you say in things and make them in character.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, okay, Gay has one of his backup characters who's an avid Star Trek fan.
You can see the public domain picture we picked for him on the side in case he comes up. That's Math. Right there.
Yeah.
Except in his world, like, the flights and mechanical items that he has, they all look like Star Trek items. So he has a frost gun that looks like a Mark II phaser rifle. It's awful.
think I am finally done with picking spells.
Right on. Okay, so you guys got your spells picked out. You got your concepts for which skills you need to cover. Picked your race and class already, and you got your basic talents. I guess the next step would be feats if you haven't already picked them.
Okay. Oh yeah. Well. Oh yeah, John, have you done your feats?
Let's see. I chose channel. What is it? Channel through devices. Something.
Oh, that's your talent.
Oh, that's a talent. Oh, feats I have not looked at all.
Okay. Feats follow the same model.
So we get
as...
one then.
Absolutely. Oh, feats follow the same basic model as 3rd edition.
Okay.
But we did change the things a little bit here to make them more accessible and useful. So some things may have changed. Trying to think of one that might be useful here. We tried to organize them by category, of course. And if you manage to take all of a particular feat talent tree, you get an achievement.
Ooh.
Which allows you additional powers. Like, obviously, you're not going to get a first level, but it's just something to think about here.
Actually, John, if you're going to be in the front line quite a bit, toughness might not be a bad idea at this level.
Okay.
Yeah, give yourself an extra 3 hit points, which may come in darn useful.
Gotcha. So maybe toughness. So is it just 1 feat? Or...
Yeah. There's kind of a set of toughness feats, but yeah, toughness is plus 3 hit points at level 1, and then once you reach level 3, you get an extra 1 per level. Or you can take robust, which is 2 hit points right now, but you get an additional. Is it additional 2 every level, Chris, or additional?
Yeah, you get plus 2 hit points per level of the character, calculated from level 1. And basically, if you have both of those, you can take new threshold, which will allow you to. You don't die at -10, you die at -12, which dovetails nicely within your talent trees if you decide to take that. Because one of the talents you have under the is it the stout or is it the savage one? Where ferocity, you just
no fear.
Yeah. Like, you could probably build your characters so that you basically take a licking and keep on kicking.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, and John, I just have to point out that you win at role-playing for your character's name, Beelzebul. That is awesome.
Again. Okay, it's official. John wins the internet.
Yeah.
Yay! It's all mine.
But only for now.
Only for now. Oh, it'll be somebody else will win it. Oh, it's already been won. Somebody in Oakland.
Yep.
And now the trophy's moved to Japan. Some otaku just did something incredibly. Anyway.
Yeah, sometimes it's better not to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we should do skills next.
That'll work. Okay.
So let me see. I get 4 plus intelligence, and that's just that many points, or is it like is it the ×3 at first level thing?
We followed the Pathfinder model, which means it's just based on a 1.1. You know, basically it's always the same regardless what level you're at. So for the ritualist, it'd be here. Let me grab it. That solves that problem. Okay. 4 plus intelligence per level, which I think is the same for both your characters.
I'm sorry. What's the same?
4 plus intelligence per level. So whatever your intelligence bonus is, and add the thing there. Now, if you take a point in a class skill, you get an additional +3 class bonus because it shows that you're within your skill set here.
Okay.
Do you want me to read out the skill lists of your characters' classes respectively?
I can just pull it up.
Okay, sure. Then you got it there. Cool.
Yeah. I suspect that the way I'm gonna function at this most effectively is at this point to take what I've got Well, I guess let's try and do the skills because that's a thing. But
Okay, what I would recommend, since you're both playing spellcasters, is max out your ritual checks.
okay. Do
Yeah.
I have ritual checks, or are you talking to Brad?
Both of you do.
We do. Okay.
Brad has charisma based. You have intelligence based.
Gotcha. Okay.
Also, just to make your lives a hell of a lot easier, there are starting packages in the player's guide for first level characters.
Gotcha. So have a look at those.
Yeah.
On my kind of haphazard character sheet, when you go to ritual, you'll see a little box beside the skill itself. That is where you're going to put your ability modifier. So if your ability modifier is like a +4, then you put that in there, or like a +2 or whatever it is.
Like the attribute modifier is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the attribute modifier. So yeah, so if
Okay.
you have like 13 +1.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that.
News?
So,
Yeah, if you it should be on my skill section under ritual, and then I'll have brackets caster, and it should be a box right beside where it says caster.
It takes a crazy long time for the skills.
I'm
page to
so
draw.
sorry for that. That's something we'll work on for sure.
mhm.
Okay, so with an int of 15, my bonus is
wait,
+2,
okay.
so six skill points to distribute. Correct?
That's absolutely correct. Yes.
Okay, so if I just so under skills by ritual, if I just put in Cha, it'll adjust or no? Or what is it?
No, unfortunately, put your Cha modifier. So what is your charisma?
17, I think. Yeah.
+3.
So put a 3 in that little box.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
I'm not good at JavaScript, so I wasn't able to script that.
Okay, and let's see other class skills.
.12 and 13 are +1, right? Telling this right?
Yes.
As okay. And 16 is also +2.
Yeah, if you need to figure out what the attributability modifier is, it's on page 37 of the main book.
Okay. Yeah, when I get a chance, I'll sit down by myself and read through these again, or not again, but read through these and refamiliarize myself with D20 and go through and make sure I built my character correctly.
Hey, it's all good.
So for alignment, I'm going chaotic good.
I think that's awesome. It's especially appropriate with this party.
Yes.
Okay. I think I have skills done unless I've done it wrong, and even so, I'll go back and fix it later, not right now. I'm thinking.
That's fair enough.
Okay. So is the next thing equipment or something else?
Yeah, that actually might not be a bad idea. Because you've done the basic stuff. Now we can buy equipment. Everybody starts with 200 G-bills, just because I didn't want to fight with, starting costs. Because nothing sucks more than rolling like 5 gold pieces for your equipment. Been there, done that. Not a fun experience. Oh, man. Now, what we did in order to make things easier, and just so it speeds it up a little bit, if you turn to page 212 of the main book, we actually set up a series of equipment packs that are already completed. It might allow you to speed through it a little bit. And the cat agrees with me. Sorry, force of habit.
Okay, and the packs come out to 200 exactly?
Exactly. Basically, it says what you get, weapons, armor, equipment provided, how much it weighs based on weight, and how much G-bills you'll have left over when you pick up everything. So that way you're not fighting with, numbers. Yeah. You feel free to modify it as you see fit, because you might want like a bigger weapon, seeing as like your Minotaur with a really big hammer or weapon, axe.
Speaking of which,
So is buckskin armor, is that the heaviest armor that doesn't carry a casting penalty?
Actually, buckskin does have a -1 armor check penalty.
Okay.
If you want the other one, the heaviest armor, the heaviest armor that isn't masterwork that has no penalty is heavy clothes.
Okay.
Costs 5 G-bills, +1 armor, maximum dex +8, no penalty, 5 pounds.
Okay, so I think I'll go with that instead.
No problem. Yeah, basically, buckskin costs 10 G-bills, heavy clothes cost 5, so just give yourself an extra 5 G-bills for fiddling.
So am I right that I've only got one class skill? That it's use magical device?
Oh no, you have a full list under the Chandler. Let me read them out to you.
Okay.
Yeah, if you check under page 34 of the book, there's a full list, but you also get use magic device on top of that. So
Right, okay. So that's... I get it. So the Chandler list. Yeah, everything's running so slow, it's really hard for me to multitask because I've got to have... I've got an old laptop.
Oh. Good.
Is a quarterstaff a large weapon?
I believe it's medium. I'll check.
It's kind of big.
Okay. Yeah, that may not be an option.
Yeah, quarterstaff is large. However, the half spear, which costs the same amount, does about the same amount of damage, is medium.
Okay.
I believe also he can take a baton, because I kind of want to see a Failing running around with a baton.
Also awesome.
You can put a little star on top of it and call it your magic wand when you
nice.
hit people with it.
Pop it over the head.
There's your reskinning option for that one.
Yes.
Speaking of reskinning...
What are you doing, Joe?
Page 3. just as a thought for John's character, in the Book of Magic, there's a weapon called a Mage Axe. It's 110 GB, so it's going to be a good chunk of your starting cash. But it costs you magic weapons, got extra charges, and that, if Chris is okay with it, could certainly be reskinned into a literal and musical axe.
That's, I started thinking the same thing. I was like, equipment.
I don't have a single problem with that. If you want to play El Caban, who might argue with you?
I get the feeling this guy doesn't ever get to stay at the same inn twice. I mean, he just trashes the room every time.
Also, John, for your Ballad of Skill, you will need to take a rank in performance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you do get it as a class skill because you're a Minotaur.
Yeah. So take a rank in performance and call it guitar.
Gotcha.
Or theremin guitar, if that suits your fancy.
We'll call it. Yeah, we're gonna come up with some name that works in axe.
Considering that is the alternate name of guitars.
Of guitar, precisely. Yeah. So it's I haven't decided yet, but it'll have a name, a very special name.
Well, duh. You always name your instruments.
Yeah, exactly. But this one's special. This one's one of a kind. I mean, people say that, but I mean this one really.
It's got buttons.
It's got buttons. It has a reactor, for God's sake.
I should go take a photo of my old Xbox Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah. So I'm partially inspired, I have to admit. I saw pictures from Burning Man this year from a friend of mine, and he was playing a flamethrower guitar that someone had made. Wow. So it's a full-on electric guitar that's while you're playing, it's shooting flames out of the neck and blasting like just giant gouts of flame. So yeah, that kind of was an inspiration.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
all coming together, Okay, so I need a rank and performance. Page finally loaded.
The size modifier for small is +1, right? For AC?
Yes.
Okay.
And attack.
Okay.
And don't forget your insane stealth bonus.
Oh, yes.
Just don't try to hide against me, because if I try to hide behind a tree, you can still see me.
Oh, okay.
Small home, you can still see me. It's fine.
You're tiny size, you can probably hide behind him.
No, again, my stealth is so bad that I'm literally cannot act as cover for anything.
Ouch.
I'm the opposite of cover.
Dude, your size... Well, bear in mind, you do know how to fly, so that's part of the fun.
Very, very slowly, yes.
I'm assuming that ritualists need a feat to use a shield.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if channelers do, though.
checking.
Nope, I was wrong. Light and medium armor.
Yeah.
Did
So
I
not
get
shields, but you get light and medium armor for your
Oh,
coverage.
no, wait, because I never... I'm thinking of Chris Feld, but I'm realizing, no, I never did do the whole shield and spear thing that I was going to do with her. One of the really nice things about the way Chris and Jason have designed this is it can be really, really fun to come up with an idea, try and create it in the system, play it, and go, okay, well, that's okay, but what if I was to tweak it like this? And then suddenly it's like, oh, wait, I have a character that can fly. Why don't I do, drive-by flying spear attacks?
Nice.
And then you can find a way to do it in the system. It's really exciting.
Yeah. Well, one of the things we wanted to avoid was penalizing somebody for tweaking their character in play. Because I've been in a few bad experiences where they, let's be honest, the GM was a jerk. And as a result, when you do a retraining, we actually created a retraining scenario chart just because you would be building on, so you would rebuild your character, but you get a plot hook in the process. And that way, it allows the GM to have something to work with. Like, for example, one of you guys, if you want, can you roll a 1d20?
All right.
Okay, we rolled a 15. The rebuilding, what happens is you get a symbiotic infestation.
Oh, no.
At some point, you pick up a strange symbiotic organism that quietly infests your brain. Luckily, the organism is not deadly. It does seem to scramble your ability to remember certain information while having total recall for things you swear you've never encountered before. Character rebuilt. Yeah. Well, again, this is the way that, hey, I don't like my character, but I want to change him. Here you go. You can change him. We roll a die. And it adds to the storytelling and the fluff text.
Okay, and it's only one starting feat, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so I took Robust to help on the front lines.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to work for you because of what you're doing there.
That what won't work?
Oh, I'm noticing the starting text was basically more suited for a character who basically is, basically a smaller, more mechanic type, whereas your character is going to go in the front lines and swag somebody with a big axe. So you might have to tinker
But
and
he
tweak
is
a little bit.
he is also a mechanic and also a musician. I mean, he's
He's a Renaissance man, or
well, sort of. I mean, he started out as dad's guitar tech, and but it turned out that his real talents were in the occult, and I'm sure he's done some dabbling in the dark arts because, I mean, he speaks demon for crying out loud.
and your family blames the lack of rock and roll in your diet.
Yeah, not enough rock and roll. Well, so he's he's kind of one of those like Christian rockers. Only he really, he's chaotic good. Right?
Oh, that's awesome.
So
this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh,
so he
uses
he uses his knowledge of of demonic to like backmask vanishing spells into his songs and stuff like that.
I am terribly amused.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm having fun with him, even though I haven't played him for a single second yet.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah. Okay. I have so many gaps, but I do need to go soon because I am kind of starving.
I understand. Are we calling it, or?
Well, I don't want to call it just yet, but
I should hurry up.
but pretty soon I need to.
Okay.
Well, and the thing is, I've got a lot filled in, but there's still a lot that is not. So, Brad, maybe you and I can meet later this week, and I could enlist you to help me finish this up.
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Not that I, know the system or anything, but I'd be happy to.
Well, you know D20 better than I do at this point.
I can. Chris can send off my email to you guys, or I can whisper it to you right now here.
Okay.
And if you guys want to meet me here, let me know. I got basically most of the week off because I'm having weird switch up at work. So
Okay.
if you guys need any help, since I'm the co-creator, I think maybe I should be able to help you.
I was
Okay.
hoping.
Yeah, possibly.
Perhaps.
It's conceivable. It's a possibility we can't rule out. So
I'm also, I'm definitely the person who will try to build characters to break the system. So
okay, good.
helping you guys do the same thing.
Fair enough. So yeah, if you maybe if you just give an email address, or you can view the character sheet as I'm working on it online, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So, however we want to communicate. But yeah, if you give me an email address, or if you have mine, just send me something.
Yeah, I'll do that right now. I'll whisper it to you guys right now.
Please.
And that lets me kind of keep working on this Monday, Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
and still, and still get it reviewed so that we know it's all in place.
So I'm tempted to go with a cleaver rather than the baton, just because the image of a little fey creature running up with a cleaver amuses me.
I cannot argue with that.
Which you will probably have to wield in two hands.
Oh yes. Yeah, I mean it would be sort of an oversized machete for me, but.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be amazing.
Yeah.
And hilarious.
Done.
Okay, that is my primary email.
Okay, excellent. And do you already have my email address from the group, or should I send you something?
You can send it to me, yeah.
Okay,
That'd be great.
I'm just going to send a confirmation real quick from my main. Oh, so many things running that are all chewing up my tiny, abused little CPU. The micro hamsters in there are dropping dead one after another.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Setted. I'm thinking a ranged weapon might be a very good thing to have.
Not disagreeing.
Wait, you said that there were guns, right?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
They are pretty expensive at level 1. The one gun I got on my character that you might not be able to... Well, maybe, but you might not have any armor. So I got a utility pistol. It is by far the cheapest.
Okay.
Yeah. Bear in mind you don't have WP handguns, just a heads up.
Oh, okay.
So your best bet is to stick with
Okay.
simple weapons, is what I'm thinking.
You can stick with simple weapons. You probably don't have a lot of money to make a second Vostian device, but Well, how much money do you have left? Out of your 200.
Who are you
taking
asking?
the standard.
For John.
Oh, me? Well, so if I buy the Mage Axe, then I still have, 90 left?
90
Correct.
left. Kind of scraping the bottom a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you still have to buy armor and stuff because you can take lighter, medium armor, which might be not a bad idea if you're a frontline fighter.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was thinking I want some kind of covering. Not too confining, because I need to be able to rock.
Oh,
Oh, well,
okay.
yeah.
So one of the armors. It's 25 GB, and it is the mesh suit.
Okay.
So you can totally do like the chainmail look.
It does have an armor check penalty, though.
Oh, the audio blanked out on me for a second.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was
So the
suggesting
mesh
is
suit
your
is 25 GBs.
25 GB, and it is basically it is an equivalent of chainmail armor, I believe. So
Okay,
that, of course, fits right in with the rocker image.
absolutely.
Just have to
Yep,
be
yep.
aware of the armor check penalty on it.
Okay, so how bad is the armor check penalty? Is it tolerable? Or?
It's only a -1.
It's minus
Okay, I
one.
can live with that. Yeah, I'll live with it.
And that applies against ritual checks, yes?
Yes.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we're using consistent numbers across the field. Just make things easier.
Okay. Well, that gives me, a pretty good idea what my basics. So I've spent 135, but I've got a mesh suit and a mage axe, and I'll read up on the rules for the Faustian devices and so forth.
Okay, good.
Okay. So all of the modern weapons, including the utility revolver, require you have to have like either a feat or a class that gives you proficiency, right?
More or less, yes.
Okay.
Like the gunboy gets we basically tried to streamline it so that for modern weapons it's either handguns or long arms, depending what you're trying to do. And there's also an automatic skill if you have automatic weapons, which most people won't at first level.
Okay.
You can't afford the automatic weapons until later on.
Okay.
However, our friend the Faustian mechanic has a really cool thing that goes with him. Once he gets some money, all he needs to do is add the cheapest Faustian mechanical thing onto an item. He is now proficient with it.
Nice.
That is one of his advantages.
Mm-hmm.
So, put
I can
something
just-
really cheap on a really cheap gun, and now you're proficient with it. Like, I put crate water on my utility pistol. It is a squirt gun.
Okay. So I can just barely afford a crossbow, it looks like.
Always good.
Sure.
We'll get some money pretty early on, so we should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, crossbow's a decent weapon for a starting character. Why not?
Yeah, totally.
And just remember, we are a party, so if we need to borrow up equipment from other people, that's fine.
Totally do that.
Yes.
If you find that you are running out of carrying capacity, give it to Baldric. He's fine.
Yeah, he's large and he's really strong.
I am not the most pretty creature, so we will let John or Brad do most of the actual diplomacy work.
I'm
I don't
not a
think-
diplomat. I am many things. But, a carouser, a gabber for sure, but not a diplomat.
So,
So Brad is going to be doing his own good cop, bad cop by himself.
Oh,
Our
I can be
choice-
bad cop.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like
Arch-
army of
That
bad
I
cops
can
and
do.
one hopefully.
Basically, I just expose my chest, show them all of my body modification work, and tell them I'm going to do this to you unless you give me what I want.
So our choices for diplomacy are the Phelan and
Or
the
nipple
Phelan.
rings.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Rex, I'm sure you can bluff them a little bit.
Yes, I'm a bluffer as well, so I mean that would be my strength.
Oh my god.
Lots of bluster.
And because I'm a mutate, I'm the only person whose standard array was a little bit different than your guys's, because I have a charisma of 8.
Nice.
Because mutates have to take a -2 to 1 durabilities
Okay,
as the balance.
gotcha.
And basically that allows me to basically take racial talents as feats,
Nice.
and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to experiment with the idea that I probably will take no class talents and just go all racial talents until I run out. Just to see if we can break the system. Eventually I will have 4 arms, is the plan.
Nice.
Nice. Old school Spider-Man.
Old school.
Yeah.
Four-armed is four-armed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
What is our-
so my starting hit points would be 6 for class, then Constitution bonus, then another 10.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I should figure out the same thing, shouldn't
Okay.
I?
And I don't remember what CMB or CMD are. I think they're from traditional roll 20 D20, but I'm rusty.
Yeah, those are from Pathfinder.
Pathfinder.
Oh, okay.
For you, it's going to be really bad.
Oh,
What size
okay.
are you? Are you now tiny size?
No, just
No,
small.
he's small.
You're still small. Okay. So it's going to be your base attack bonus, which is probably going to be +0.
Yep.
That's we're doing CMB first.
Yep.
Plus your strength modifier.
We're still at 0.
Okay. And
And-
then -1 for your size.
Okay. And then CMD.
CMD, take that number, add it to 10, and then add your dexterity modifier.
Okay. So. Alrighty. And then under senses, I. Did Phelan
I
get anything
believe you
special?
have low. Does he have low light?
The Phelan?
Yeah, low light. Is it low
Yeah.
light or dark vision?
Low light. Brad's
light.
character is going to be the only one of us who cannot see in the dark.
Oh, we are going to crank him so hard.
Oh, yes.
He's only that's why maybe we'll take a couple of scrolls of flare just to set him up, just in case we try to prank him. There are no rules for that, but we are okay with you role playing with dark vision and flare goes off. It's like, oh my god!
Our poor undeveloped eyes! No!
Brad, you obviously need more flair.
Oh!
Yes. Oh.
And there's the pun of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a pretty terrible joke.
You're welcome.
That's what he does. In fact, that's what we all do, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Well, we're all being punished.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so saves are going to be.
You have to look under your class first to see what your save bonuses are.
Yeah,
I believe
check the base.
your highest should be willpower.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe the other two are zeros at first level.
Yeah, so 2 0 0. So 2 for willpower, 0 0.
The Channeler has a slightly better thing. You get +2 to will, +2 to fort, +0 to reflex.
It's okay. All saves suck at level 1. It's fine.
Yeah.
Plus, you add your con bonus to your fort, your dex bonus to your reflex, and your wisdom's bonus to your willpower.
Yeah.
Those should auto-calculate on the sheet.
Hooray.
Well, yeah, they should.
Murphy, you hit again!
You are making me sad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's not
Well,
a
it
problem.
looks-
I just, it's
It
something that
looks-
you seem to be concerned with, so I wanted to let you know.
Fantastic, you know.
It looks pretty, it just doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Oh, well.
These things happen.
Okay.
Well,
uh,
I'll work up something in Courier New in like really bad typewriter font and make it look like it's from like Traveler. We'll be good to go.
The game that we all...
Just do a sequential listing of everything. Just no
long as we
formatting, it's
don't-
just one item after another.
And as long as we don't do our character stats in hexadecimal, we're good to go.
Oh my god, I'm designing a system with hexadecimal as the basic, yes, you must use hexadecimal to... I
That's
just
how
need
they
to figure out it.
That's how they did their arrays for their character stats in Original Traveler.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Once
that's
you
so
reach a
crazy.
certain number, then you have to go look up the hexadecimal.
9,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
And their character stats were so confusing. Like, what's your character stats? 7CAF. Like, what?
Well, fun fact, I actually had the Traveler game back quite a while ago, and you could open it up in a debugging program and actually cheat your stats because it used hexadecimal as well.
So we should have also had the Traveler for the Martian as well as Zork.
Well, duh.
Okay.
That was awesome with the Martian. They brought up how they could hack their thing using hexadecimal. That was talk about memory lane.
We'll stay away from that, though, just in case.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who used to do the same thing with Twilight 2000, the video game. He literally went in there, but the problem is when you cheated, the villains cheated as well because they jacked themselves up as well. So basically, it was the first shot
Nice.
capability there. It was actually really funny.
That's mean.
Oh God, Twilight 2000.
Okay. So there are some critical fluff parts that I need to add to my character,
That's fine.
which which is sort of the most important part. But I think I'm going to take some time to stew on that. So the pop culture obsession, can that be pretty much any aspect? Like.
Sure, anything that's not going to get you a copyright strike is good to go.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, quite literally, we wanted to leave it open-ended because,
It
Well,
is Earth, so
yeah,
pick
and
what you
therefore
like.
you have all the crap you have nowadays.
Yeah.
You can, if you have any doubts, you say you found it at a dig.
Okay.
It's like the scene in Sleeper when he finds the TDU bug in a sea cave and it just starts right up. You know,
Exactly.
it's 200 years old. It's been sitting there.
OCD has been set off for less.
That is exactly how that works. Again, one of the things we did in the Book of Arrogance, just to change things up, the kind of the sandbox we use is our hometown where we live.
Oh, okay.
And the idea is that we kind of went like, well, they kind of have G bills, but everything is in exchange. You're not using the cash money. You're using just like trade items, and all the trade items are musical related. So here's your $100 CD
Yes.
for your trade.
Yeah, you basically have to put it in the easy come, easy go banking establishment, and it basically gives you a voucher which allows you to get a rating of your material for trade purposes. And also, Edtown, which is the town in question, is based loosely on the classic animated movie Rock and Roll.
Oh,
cool.
excellent. I'm going to fit right in there.
Oh yeah.
Frank Frazetta drew me, you know.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, Chris, I just realized we have something really bad.
What's wrong?
Well, when the Book of Progress comes out, we'll be able to do Xanadu.
Oh, dear God, you're right.
We could have roller skating rockers.
I don't really have a problem with this, but I'm sure other people might.
It's going to be expensive getting those roller skates for my hooves, but...
Sometimes you just have to take the bull by the horns.
Did I just lose you all again?
Testing.
You're breaking a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I missed whatever. Oh, well.
Oh, no.
You're better off.
You
Yeah.
missed the fun, man. You
Brad-
missed-
Just
Brad
grin
once again
and
won the
nod,
evening.
grin and nod, it's all good.
Okay, so shall we call it for the evening?
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. This was a blast.
Thank you.
I'm really
I
looking
had a good
forward to next
time
week.
doing... Yeah. I am really looking forward to playing this character.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's what we want to hear. Thank you, guys.
And again, any honest feedback, please send it our way because that's where we're at. Where we want feedback. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we want to basically make the game as best as possible at this point. And honestly, we're too cheap to buy an editor just yet.
Okay.
All right,
right.
fair enough. I have to go eat something before I don't know, pass
Don't
out.
pass out, man.
Yep.
Just
All right, bye, everybody.
See ya.
thank you all.
Okay,
Night, John.
and thanks again.
Night.
See you guys same time next week.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.